The healing is gonna say, do you wanna be here? The pain is gonna say, you need to be here.
The reality is nobody wants to find somebody who's worth going to hell for.
No man can take a woman and transform her. You're not God. You can never take water, baby, and make this 7-Up. Women with daddy issues don't mean you gotta be with your daddy.
Single people can't coach relationship people.
Cam, if it went over your dreadlocks, bring it back.
If the man doesn't have high value,
Women come and lead with, fit this, or you have no value. Men come in and go, all right, I'm here, and I'm gonna learn how to be the best I can for you. Oprah's power. You think Stedman's low functioning or low value?
nobody's making Oprah money.
Stedman is not low functioning. Oprah's
And
not.
Stedman is not low value either. Everybody's low value compared to Mama O. I would be a fool
But that's
to
not,
think.
That's not always the case. I have at some point dated a man who is low value.
What was he providing you?
The functionality.
The functionality?
The what?
Functionality.
That's what you want at 35, baby. Have you been to Africa?
You know Wakanda only come in Wakanda packages. I'm in Atlanta, baby. This is Africa. I'm not married. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8, okay.
No, baby. It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Would you consider me a high value man?
High valued or high functioning?
You're
I'm spitting,
speeding.
I'm poking
We
speed, all
going
of
there.
it.
Hold on. Let me take this.
So let me finish
Let me
this.
take this.
finish
Let me take this
point.
glove off.
Let me
real
finish
quick.
this point. I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam?
I done let you off the hook on numerous times.
Yeah, and I gave you a simple answer.
That was not simple.
I want to respond to something.
Hey, hold on, stop. We're gonna get back to the content at hand, but while I have your attention, I need you to go to iconicsaga.com and become an icon today. That's ad-free content, exclusive giveaways. Become an icon today, just $1 a month.
Come here real quick. Come in closer. Closer. Hey. Hit that subscribe button. Back to the show.
Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton the son, Mr. Boogie the All here with another episode of Funky Friday. Now, I promise, I really do promise to give good content for the masses, but most of all, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, I promise to keep it funky for your asses. Yes, Lord. Now, I would like to say the boxing gloves is on, but they slipping off. You know what I'm saying? We starting clean. So with this particular individual, who I have so much respect for, she is a psychology expert, a life coach, author of the book Mental Detox, The Power and Guidance to Implement Peace, Joy, Balance, and Financial Abundance in Your Life, an activist, and an NAACP branch president, founder of Dr. Bryant Institute and Dr. Bryant Foundation. I present to some and introduce to others no other than Miss Cheyenne Nicole Bryant.
What's up, Cam? Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. I know you're here, you know, to win.
To win.
To win. I'm looking forward to providing a lot of really good information to everyone, and especially our community, on things that can change their lives, tools that can help them get from a place that they're in to a place that they want to be in, or even come to the awareness of knowing what is that place that I want to be in? How do I get there? And once I'm there, what the hell do I do to maintain it? What are those tools? So I'm excited. I want to thank you for having this platform, because it is entertaining, one, but it is a place where I've watched a lot of your interviews, and through the entertainment, through the laughter, through all of your amazing upbeat energy, I've been able to pick something from each interview that I watch and go, that was a gem. You know, that was something that was good. That's something that I can learn from. And so thank you for having this platform. And yeah, thank you for, you know, throwing all them picks when you was on the field. You know, and
Look,
I got to mess with you.
that glove slipping on down. Because as you was doing your research on me.
I know.
I obviously was doing my research on
Of course.
you. Now, before we get into that, let's kind of go back to the evolution of Dr. Bryant,
Yeah, totally.
right? I'm intrigued because as I was doing my research, I came to I was like, yo, why doesn't this is probably the most mysterious, most discreet doctor I've ever seen, because she has so much like, yo, who is she? Has such a following, but no Wikipedia. I found that like so hard. I was like, yo, who doesn't have a Wikipedia? So I'm literally trying to find out certain things because I'm trying to go deep. You said, how deep we gonna go? I said, as deep as the ocean
You
floor.
did, yeah.
So that's where I really want to kind of start. Where are you originally from?
I love that. I want to hit on the Wikipedia really quick. I don't have it because years ago, my team was like, let's do the Wikipedia, we got to do this. And my thing, again, was not for me to get into my field or even on TV with Teen Mom and co-produced shows that I produced to be a celebrity. And I'm not knocking celebrities. I did it again because for me, my purpose is, as a little girl growing up in the inner city, in the hood, to your question, growing up with abandonment issues, growing up with brokenness, and finding my way to use my platform, my books, everything about myself and everyone else's platforms, like your amazing platform, to be able to give those tools and pieces to little girls and little boys like me in the inner city, in the trailer park, I don't care where they are, who are just saying, why me and how, right? How? And so the celebrityness and the Wikipedia meant nothing to me, but the lives that I've been able to change from platforms, from being on TV, from being the president of the biggest and baddest civil rights organization, the kids who have been able to call me and say, Doc, you know, I'm in college, I've graduated, you know, I'm married with a family now. Adults who are experiencing suicide ideations and mental breakdowns who are saying, look, I'm not suicidal no more. I sold all my guns. That is my Wikipedia. That is my celebrityness. And that's my bigness for me. And so if Doc don't ever get a Wikipedia, I'm fine. But to that point, because of all the work I've done in the community, because of all the lives that I have happily been, you know, honored and privileged to change, my city, Los Angeles, has given me something that's legacy, that's, I believe, bigger than Wikipedia. My branch and myself and my founder, Joe Gatlin, we have our own street in the city of Los Angeles, as a token of their appreciation for me coming in and giving back where I came from and what I've learned in the sense of coming to a place of mental health and coming to a place of a good quality of life. So I'll take that any day. But I'm a little girl, a product of teenage parents. My father was 16, mom was 15 when they got pregnant. And in the inner city, my dad was a hardcore gangster, dope dealer in the streets. He's a founder of one of the biggest Piru gangs in Los Angeles. My mom was also, a gangster in the streets alongside my father. They were high school sweethearts, met at 10 years old. About 2 years old, when I was 2, my dad went to jail for murder and selling dope. And by the time he got out, he beat his case, thank God. By the time he got out, they told my father my mom was selling 8-tracks. And back then, he thought 8-tracks she's selling 8-tracks, the record albums. She drops him off to a gym to work out, and she takes his car, and she never returns. He calls his brother, and he says, yo, Kim hasn't came and got me. Is she okay? Where's she at? Come to find out, she wasn't selling 8-tracks. My mom was doing the drug that my father was selling. And so as a little girl, coming from that, growing up with a lot of questions of abandonment, and I even was questioning God, saying, I just don't understand, why. And I know for sure, it's not just kids that question this, adults also question God with certain situations that they have, especially when it comes to being a child who's experiencing abandonment, who grew up to be an adult, who's now experiencing that little boy or little girl in you who's abandoned. Me asking God, like, why I'm confused, right? And him explaining to me, baby, the only way I can give you an understanding of why is if I give you the experience. And I said, I'm good, because words don't teach, experience does. And so for me, growing up as the oldest of 7, not having anyone in front of me to witness how to do life, how to get through this, I just went into prayer, supplication, and faith in myself and God, and I became very resilient. And at that point, I understood that life was a journey that was about self-growth by self, but about making sure that whatever God moves through me, he gives to me. So I want to make sure that whatever's coming out of me, I want to keep, one. And two, that whatever it is that I'm able to resolve or understand, or whatever pain pockets or trauma I'm able to navigate through, that I do have a duty, an unspoken oath, to give that to any human, because it's a human right to have mental health and a good quality of life. And so that's my story in a very, very small shell. There's a lot more to it. But, you know, being a broken little girl, when you heal right and when you take the necessary steps to get your trauma in alignment with who you really are, good people come from that. Good people come from that. And so it gave me the ability to see good in people, but be a hybrid and not be naive to, excuse my language, the bullshit that trauma and the inner city and abandonment can create somebody to be if you're not careful with that.
Okay, Siri, stop the clock. Boom, right there. I just asked a simple question.
Yeah, and I gave you a simple answer.
That was not simple. That was a lot.
Yeah,
So you're from Los Angeles, California?
I'm from LA.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I just nipped in all the other questions you was going to ask all in one.
I mean,
I'm making your job easier. Shit. I'm
Extremely.
making
I
it
was like,
way
yo, I just
easier.
wanted to know where you was
Yeah,
from. I was just going back to the Wikipedia.
But you
I was
should
like,
know this, Cam, because I was told you have a great relationship with your father, that asking somebody where they're from is also asking them about who is connected to where they're from. And for me, I stand on the shoulders of my father, Darren, my mother, Kim, my grandfather, Bailey, and my grandmother, Mariah. So for me to say where I'm from without saying me standing on their shoulders is an incomplete narrative. And so I can't say that without saying I come from them, who I'm standing on, and this is the product of it.
I get it.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to
But we there. So
say
where
less.
we going? We there. So let's drive this thing. Where we going?
The question is, with me doing my research,
Yeah.
educated, highly educated, very articulate.
Thank you.
So I'm really curious to know this question. Were your parents married?
They were not.
They were together. And do you think that had any type of impact on the woman that you are today?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Well, how though?
Yeah. I love that question. You know, it impacted me in a lot of broken ways, but it impacted me in a lot of really healthy ways. Contrast, which is something most people don't like, really is our best friend. And so I always say as a little girl, no pun intended to everyone who raised me, but I saw a lot of contrast. I saw a lot of who I didn't want to be like. And so what that did was, and this is for the people who don't know where you want to go, don't know who you are, but you know you don't like your environment, you don't like where you're at. This could be at any age. I always say it's not where you're running to that it gets you there. Oftentimes it's what you're running from. And for me, it was me running from my contrast, saying, I don't want to be that, or that. I don't know who I want to be at this point. When I was younger, I don't know where I'm going, but I put my track shoes on, Cam, tied them up, and y'all may see these really pretty heels on today, but I say it every day, my track shoes will never come off, because me running from that has gotten me to a place of, you know, as you said, and thank you, being very educated, to being able to take care of my mother and my family, to being a doctor, to doing things that broke so many generational curses. But it also created a very broken young girl, which caused me to have to just self-reflect and take inventory on why do I behave like this, and why do I show up like this? And what is it rooted to? What is that associated to? And so for me, getting to the seeds of my harvest allowed me to really have a sense of self, of who I am, and where to come from. And then really quick, and when you do that, it allowed me to have this intense forgiveness for my mother and her addiction, because finding out who I am helped me really understand who she was. And it helped me have compassion for trauma when I started to understand how hard trauma was for me, and I wasn't even addicted to anything but my trauma, because that's all I knew. And so it's magical when you start to take the finger from here to here to here and then to here, because you get to understand you, and understanding you, you start to really have compassion for everybody, because there's nothing about me, if I understand me, that you haven't similarly either felt or experience where I can't connect and have compassion for you in that pain pocket or in that trauma. So it's a blessing.
So basically what you're saying, you're the epitome of, she's a runner, she's a track star. She can run away when it's hard.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was definitely. I had to learn. I love that. That is so on point. You're 100% on point. I definitely have been the run of the track star. I had to learn. I spoke about this earlier with my makeup artist, Felicia. I had to learn what running, not running looked like. See, I didn't have to learn how to get away from you because you weren't treating me good. I didn't have to learn how to make sure you respected me and you showed up solid because I was going to pivot, right? Pivot and running, that's my first nature. I've been doing this all my life. I had my track shoes on. I came into the relationship with my track shoes on, and I went to bed with them with you. So they're not like they was ever off. I had to learn how to stay and evolve with. I had to learn that commitment's not a feeling, and that when I'm triggered, I have to stay committed to what I said I was going to do, regardless of how I feel, regardless of where this relationship or this conversation triggered or took me in my pain. I couldn't let my pain tell me it's time to leave this Negro and sabotage. I had to let my healthy self say, wait a minute, let me overpower the pain, because the healing is gonna say, do you wanna be here? The pain is gonna say, you need to be here. And healed people want, pain people, trauma people need. And so for me, my trauma needed me to detach so I can be okay, because I was coming in broken already. And I had to learn how to be able to stay with my track shoes on, because they still on, but not get on the blocks, and be able to strut and take a walk. But it was a process of learning. And in my process of being a runner, it enabled me to call off 2 weddings. And glad that I made those decisions, but it helped me not stay longer where I wasn't supposed to be. So my running helped, but it also is a weapon.
So I would say it this way. I mean, you've obviously been vocal in talking about running away from things and doing this, it being trauma. Do you have a tangible source in your life, ever had a tangible source in your life that you can touch, see, feel, experience what true love actually is, a healthy relationship?
Yes.
Who is that?
Yes. My grandmother and my father. And now that my mom is sober, my mother. But in her addiction, it was my grandmother who raised me, and my father, thank God, who didn't allow me to be a fatherless girl, and we were best friends.
No.
You're talking about a romantic relationship?
Yes. That relationship
love
where
that.
we're talking about, the question was, were your parents married, right? And they weren't, so that having an impact on
Right.
you, and that's why you strung them shoestrings up tight.
Yeah.
But I'm like, have you being who you are and knowing the right things and unpacking and this.
Knowing them now.
Knowing them now.
Yes.
Have you identified someone
Yes.
that you can touch, that you can call, that you know that is what you want to be? Like, instead of running away from something, you running to
it.
something that you're like, I want that. And who is that for you?
So it is not an individual, no. It's still an ideology. It's still something that I've created in my mind. And so there's not a person that I look at and I say this very humbly, besides myself, because I've done a hell of a job of working through my pain pockets. I've done a hell of a job of getting myself to a place of thriving and no longer surviving. And so that person is me. I look at myself and I say, I want to be you. I look at myself and I say, you know, I love you. I look at myself and I thank that little girl for surviving. And then that little girl looks at that woman and she says, thank you for learning to thrive. Because now I'm able to be a little girl and do the things I can do. And I no longer have to protect you as a woman and show up in your relationships, because there's no place for a little girl or a child in adult relationships, not just only romantically, but professionally. And so I would honestly have to say that that woman would be me, working through, conditions of love and coming to a place of self-love, Yeah, 100%. I am who I want to be.
Okay,
I'm
so
her.
this is a trigger for me. Because if you've never witnessed it firsthand, a healthy relationship, you find that source in yourself, which
Well, I never said I haven't witnessed a healthy relationship. Is there a person
Tangible.
you said, tangible source that I look at where I'd want to emanate or be like? No. I've witnessed healthy relationships, yes, and I've been in healthy relationships, yes. But anything that I've witnessed as far as a person that I want to be like or emanate, I don't have that. No.
So it's triggering to hear that, knowing that if things get shaky, rocky, everybody wants somebody so they can run off in the sunset with.
Keyword with.
Yeah.
Right.
But
right.
this is the thing though. And my mom is an angel. And I always love having real conversations
Right.
with my mom. She's a church-going, God-fearing woman. All she knows is my dad. And I use her for a source of wisdom, and she used me for a source to stay hip.
Nice.
And she says this about relationships. Everybody wants to find a happy ending.
Right.
And they want to find heaven in a person, right? And run off in the sunset. But the reality is nobody wants to find somebody who's worth going to hell for. That's real love. Because that's understanding that you're not a finished product.
Right.
You're worth finding the best version of you.
Of yourself, yes.
And you running away or not having a person in your life that can assist, help, you go to and say, girl, let me tell you, Tyrone, he doing it again. What do you do like when Tyrone ain't answering his phone and I know he say he at work, but I don't know, I done looked at the other girl Instagram and they in the same blah, blah, blah. You know how
I get what you're saying,
detective
yeah.
women can be. Like, I need, the
Yeah.
FBI need to hire more black women because they gonna figure something out.
Right.
The black woman I know, strong, very curious, detective, go gadget information. They gonna figure that out. But you not having that source in the time of need, not when everything's good. We don't need no more invitations to the wedding or to the anniversary or to the
Right.
party or to
Right.
this or to that. We need people who gonna help me when I need help in an unconventional or when the situation is not so much straight and narrow.
Right.
That's why it's triggering to me.
So let me hear you right, correct. It's triggering to you because what you hear me saying, which sounds like we have a little slight disconnect. What you hear me saying is that I don't have a go-to person when Tyrone, which I don't have a Tyrone, thank God, or something is off kilter in my world, that you hear me saying I don't have a go-to person or a resource that can help me process through that.
Correct.
Okay.
Or I can also add to that, you don't have a healthy ecosystem where I'll give you an example.
No, I got you.
Staying on point is
Go ahead.
quick. So if I take a relationship serious with an individual, it's going to be hard for that individual to understand or to fight for something if her resources are single women,
I agree.
are bachelorettes,
I agree.
are divorcees,
I agree.
are certain situations. And I'm like,
100%.
so they say birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you're the only good girl out of all these?
And another thing, people give advice from their results. Right. So every day we live on the results of our decisions. And so they're giving you advice on things they have experience in. If it's single, it's experience in being single. If it's married, it's advice from a married woman. So what I'm saying is, yes, I have a strong support system. I have a healthy ecosystem. I have people that I do go to. And the Bible says, do I seek wise counsel? Yes. And I have wise counsel within my world and within my foundation.
So
now,
you have
when
them now? Or?
Yes, I have them now. Yes, I have that.
But when I just asked you,
No,
the simple
that's not
question
what you
before-
asked me, or how I received it was, is there anyone who I look to that I'd want to be like or admire? I don't have that. That person would be myself. But as far as a support system, not only do I have a therapist, not only do I have a pastor, not only do I have a mother, and I have a circle of wealth, which I call friends and support system, who, male and female, single and married, who, that's why I said, some do have healthy relationships and some don't have healthy relationships. but they're all part of my ecosystem. Again, contrast, the person who doesn't have a healthy relationship is also teaching me things on what not to do and things I may not want to do. Folks like your mom, who are extremely wise, who, are still, I'm guessing from what you said, still with your dad.
Right.
She has a different perspective that definitely adds to, me processing through my journey and what that looks like. So I have a very equally yoked circle of resources that help me through whatever I'm going through for the clarity. But do I have somebody who I look to that I want to be like? That person is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Now, I want to respond to something. You said there's a lot of that black women, and I know it was a joke, but being serious, black women are women, folks would hire to do the detective investigative work. Because they're gonna find out anything. They're gonna be on social media, Instagram, cell
They gonna
phones,
piece it
all
together.
that. They're gonna piece it
They gonna
together.
piece it together.
They're gonna figure it
Yeah.
out. See, that's the dysfunction that I'm talking about is an issue.
Okay.
And that's also when I'm referring to low functioning behaviors. That's a choosing issue. First of all, not that I'm better than any other woman or they're better than me. I'm not choosing a man that I have to become a detective to. Even the men I caught off weddings from, to their defense, just because I caught it off doesn't mean they weren't good men. I'm choosing men who I can be a wife or a woman to. I'm not choosing a man that I can be a detective to. So when women are choosing men, I think that certain things to become aware of are, do I have to go into my detective, which is my trauma? Do I have to go into my investigative, which is my dysfunction? Yeah. Because if so, that man is triggering and bringing those things up. And he only brings those things up in you because those things are in him. Yeah. And start trusting your spirit more, ladies. And this is another thing. Women with daddy issues are going to be okay with being an investigator and a detective because oftentimes, remember, they have learned subconsciously how to investigate and detective, why is daddy not here in the household? So it doesn't make me say, why would they not grow up thinking the norm is to wonder where you're at, to wonder what you're doing, and to wonder why you're not there, and think that that's okay based on their norm of daddy issues. I have a father who we were best of friends, who was extremely, extremely involved in my life, a father, a daddy, everything. So I never had to wonder or investigate my father. I never had to wonder or investigate his motives with me. So I don't navigate the world thinking that that's the norm to try to figure out or investigate on social media, through your cell phone, through anything, what your motives are, who you are, what are you doing. That is an unhealthy relationship. That is your trauma and your pain choosing for you. And I would offer that any woman who's in that situation get help. Leaving isn't easy. And to learn how to choose different, learn how to choose better, because you deserve better. And let me go further. The man who you're investigating or you're feeling like you have to do these things with, and you can't just be in a safe space, you can't nest him, he also deserves better. And his getting better is you pivoting and leaving and telling him that he needs to get some help before he can be with a woman who is of your caliber. And when I say your caliber, who's willing to get help for yourself, so you choose different. Daddy issues don't mean you got to be with your daddy. It just means you got to take inventory of what daddy, who you didn't have, looks like, and stop choosing that kind of man. Next question.
Y'all know I love going to live events, whether it's football, concerts, or comedy shows. There's nothing like being in the crowd and feeling the energy. One of my favorite memories was me in the student section at the Auburn, Georgia game last year. And I'm always looking forward to creating those same type of moments this year. That's why I'm all about Game Time. They got this new feature called Game Time Picks to make it super easy to grab the best deals on tickets. You don't have to waste time searching for a bunch of options. They filter out the fluff and only show you the best deals. And the deals were unbeatable. The super deal that I found was exceptional. Plus, the all-in pricing means no surprise fees at checkout. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code FUNKY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So create an account and redeem code FUNKY for $20 off. Last minute tickets, lowest price. Guaranteed. Download Game Time today.
My boxing glove's still on. Dang. Yeah, man. And I for the sake of my cigar, I mean,
gone.
yeah, it's about to get there. I just want to ask a simple question.
And it's going to be a simple answer.
Hopefully, within the time frame of me smoking this cigar. Do you want to get married?
Hard, yes. Absolutely want to get married.
So my question is, if you've never seen a healthy marriage, how are you able to identify one?
So let me answer again. I didn't grow up in the household where a healthy marriage was something that was present for learned behavior. I am 41 years old. I'm an adult who has done a lot of work. So in today's world, with my work and my healing and my old friends who I have now made new friends, I now have, and I do see healthy relationships.
But none that you want to be like, yo,
No, because,
I like what y'all have.
Right.
I want to emulate that.
No, and it's not because what they have isn't healthy. It's because I have a strong sense of self. And I'm not knocking people who look to other people and say, I would like that, or I get what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with that. But I have a strong sense of self, and I don't want what someone else has. I want what is aligned in God's will for me is. And so I have a strong understanding that what's for me ain't gonna look like your healthy relationship. And if I get caught up in, I want that, or I want it to mirror that, then I may be looking and meeting my husband saying, you don't fit this box, which is called compartmentalizing. And my husband, who's God sending to me after all my work, doesn't need to fit a box. He needs to come authentically who he is. And my job is to love him where he is, how he is, and pray on the ways that I don't understand, because I'm not supposed to lean onto my own understanding. I'm supposed to trust God in all his ways. And when doing that means I'm not looking for anything externally to idolize. When I have myself in God and I know that who my husband is, I will feel it. I don't have to see it in someone else's world. And the other thing is we got to be careful with wanting what somebody else has from the optics, because it could look like we want this beautiful mansion and we go in that house, excuse my language, that motherfucker's more homeless than people who sleep on the street. Because just because you got 4 walls and you have a marble floors and you have a gated home and you have a 10,000 or 20,000 square foot home doesn't mean that thing ain't more homeless than the person who's in a high-rise apartment or a person who's in a single apartment living in downtown LA and they're a student who's poor, okay? That has nothing to do with it. So I'd rather have a little apartment with my husband and baby, we got wealth, than be in a big mansion like a lot of people have done and be homeless in that thing. And I'm sitting here creating this image for my people to admire me, but I'm dying in the inside. When you talk about resources and people, I don't want no friends around me who can see me as a mansion, but let me die as a homeless person internally. I'm good. And nor do I want to be the woman who says, I want what Cam and this woman has, not knowing that when this woman goes wherever she going, she's really speaking the real about what y'all got going, but she not gonna tell me because she wants me to keep feeding her trauma, which is that mask and that costume she's wearing, to make people think that relationship is good. I'll pass. I'll take what God has for me, and I will continue to pray for those who I see have a healthy relationship and support them. But I don't want nothing nobody has because it's not mine. And if it ain't yours, y'all, you can't keep it. You can't sustain it. So stop wanting things that ain't yours. Stop wanting things that don't belong to you. That's called despair. Get you some help. Get you some healing, get you a sense of self, and start wanting things that are yours. And then you may not end up with a man who's beating your ass because you thought he was putting her on jets and buying her Birkin bags and taking her to nice restaurants when she was going home getting her ass beat. But you wanted it though, right? Be careful what you ask for. Start asking God, reveal to me what I'm saying I want, so I understand the transparency of it. God, reveal to me what's mine, so I can have that. And I don't end up praying to you to get out of it. And I don't rush to the altar just to become a divorcee or a baby mama or a baby daddy. We don't want what nobody else has. We want what's ours, because that is good enough. I caught that pick.
You caught the pick. Just because you talking loud, just because
I wasn't loud.
Just because your voice is inflected.
I wasn't loud.
Just because you're leaning forward to your camera.
I wasn't loud.
Doesn't mean you just caught a pick.
I'm talking to my people. I'm talking to my people who
All
I
I'm
want to get
trying
right.
to say is you took something completely out of context when I said your resources around you that you said.
Yes, we cleared that up though.
Yeah, but the resources that you have around you of healthy relationships,
They are.
not that you want that. You said, you took what I said, and yeah, I said, I want that, but it's not, I want
No,
what they have.
I don't.
It's more of an admiration for what they have.
No.
And it's like, yo, like I admire that about their relationship.
There you go. Now, hold on. That's no, because the latter part, I have single girlfriends I admire how they are as women. I have married girlfriends who I do admire their relationship, meaning I love that it's healthy for you. I love that you and him
Yeah, but
are
you're
doing
talking about
this.
mansions and
But-
beating and
but
all that.
Cam,
I ain't mentioned none of
hold
that.
on,
I just said,
Cam, if it went over your dreadlocks, bring it back.
yeah,
Let's
but
stay
you're
here.
talking about you catching pics, but you just over
Cam,
here just,
Cam,
you on a
don't-
TV
Cam,
timeout.
Cam, we're not on the football field. Let's bring it back here.
Yeah,
I
but you
took it
used
to the
that
football
analogy.
field. I'm sorry. We're back here. I brought it back, baby. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
it's okay. It's okay.
I'm not fleeing. I'm here.
Say less.
I'm here. Yeah.
So all I was saying is you saying that that's what I like is more of a wordplay to saying I admire what they have and I want to implement that into my relationship as well. Single people can't coach relationship people. And I think that is what happens too often. So when I'm asking questions about resources, when I'm asking questions about you, hard yes for a
Yeah,
married
of
man,
course, yeah.
I'm saying I'm triggered when I hear that as a man.
Yeah.
When I ask you, do you have healthy marriages that you've seen, witnessed,
Yes,
been a
and I
part
have,
of,
yes.
or admired? And you clearly said no.
And I clearly said yes. But my admiration doesn't go as far as, in your exact words, I would want that. No, I don't want anything that somebody else is. I want to help them have more of the good stuff.
Okay.
Okay? But in the sense of, again, people who are doing well, married or not, but I want to go back to what you said is triggering to you, because I love that you said that. And a lot of people think that, and it's not wrong. I get it. A single woman or even a woman with no kids, how can she coach or therapy a woman who is a mother? Or a single woman, how can she coach or therapy or help or be a psychologist with people who are having marital
But
issues?
you're single.
I'm single.
Okay.
Yes, I'm single. And so I love what you're saying because I don't know what other therapists, psychologists, or coaches do, but I don't coach married couples. Stick with me. People come to me who are married. I'm helping each of them process their own stuff. Because what a marriage is, and your mama will know it because she's a church woman, and from what she said beyond
39
wise.
years
Right.
of marriage.
And even what she said about marriage, everybody want to go to heaven, but there's a lot of hell in it, and love that. She said that. Marriage, like the Bible says, is cleaving. Cleaving does this. Cleaving does this. Cleaving doesn't do this. And so when people come to me married, they're doing similar to Mama's statement. They're coming to me like this. And so I'm not counseling married couples. I'm counseling individuals who are coming with so many issues within themselves that they married on paper, but they ain't never even had a chance to be married mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, intellectually in any way. But what happens is, as I help them as individuals process through their traumas and their pain and their intergenerational issues, they magically usually cleave, or not many, but some, depart. Because you cannot cleave without shedding. And the shedding that cleaving takes is the shedding of your stuff. Your ego, your emotions, your trauma, your pain pockets. And when you shed of that, the cleaving was already waiting there for you. So it's not that anyone, even other therapists, are teaching married people how to cleave or be married. They're really breaking down the barriers that people have that are keeping them from being loving or in love, or like Mom said, keeping them from going not only to heaven, but sometimes taking that detour to hell just to get to heaven again, just to get back to hell, to get back to heaven. Yeah. And so I don't teach them how to be married because I don't think that's something that can be taught. I think that comes through each individual marriage couple, because there's not one way to do it. I'm helping them break down the barriers that are keeping them from what they really want, which is to be safe, to be in love, to go to this heaven space, but to learn how to have the bandwidth to get through the journey of hell that comes as well.
Yeah, I must ask this question because I'm a product of this.
Yeah.
Has your profession affected your outlook on a relationship?
100%.
How?
My husband will be very, very grateful to all of my clients these past 16, 17 years because my female clients have helped shape me to have more compassion. It has helped shape me to have better understanding of the pressures and the seasons that come in motherhood, that come in marriage. And my male clients, particularly my Black male clients, the married ones, have really gave me insight on the weight that comes with being a husband, being a father, how much they really are giving their all and trying their best, but it looks different to her. And so learning how to read and communicate, Cam, what does it mean when you text me randomly throughout the day and just say, what are you doing? Is that a message? What are you doing? Is that a message where you're just trying to tell me, baby, I love you, but you didn't say the words? So if I know that what are you doing means I love you, as your wife, the Bible says, love you by knowledge of you, not understanding, knowledge. I now know how to code that. So that helps me not personalize, but you ain't doing it my way. But you didn't say, I love you. And you saying, but baby, I say what you're doing, and that means I love you. So my clients have helped me dissipate my ego. And they have helped me not only gain a sense of self, but understand the different languages that men can speak. Also, it's allowed me to have more compassion and break my fairy tale ideology that women have. I always say this, men get married and become a father and go, oh, shoot. Okay, I didn't know it was gonna take all of this. Game time, let me try to figure this out. Let me try to see if I can do this and do that and get the car and do this and love her more and balance all this. Women, we meet you and we're like, our idea and our fairy tale is you are Prince Charming, honey. And then we try to get you to fit Prince Charming, and the more you don't fit it, the more y'all end up in my office going, but he doesn't do this. Well, has he ever did it? No, but I always just thought my husband would, your husband or this man? So are you getting to know who you with, or are you making this man fit this fairy tale ideology that doesn't even exist anyways? And so women come and lead with, fit this, or you have no value. Men come in and go, all right, I'm here, and I'm gonna learn how to be the best I can for you. And then women do what? You're taking too long. You're not getting there because you haven't fit the box of the fairy tale. So for me, it's helped me break down what all of my clients know. Y'all know I call it the fairy tale ideology. And I'm not exaggerating, Cam. I wanna say 100%, but I'm gonna go 99.9% of women who come in my office, I'm having to work on breaking their fairy tale ideology of their husband. And hold on, let me say this. To his defense, they almost always have an amazing husband. But because his amazingness doesn't fit her idea of amazing, guess what? He ain't shit to her. And remember, have no emotional investment besides I really want them to get this, work through this. I'm going, so because he don't fit your tone of red, you gonna tell me this man still ain't red?
He burgundy though.
You see what I'm saying?
You know, he there.
Drinking and driving is a decision that could change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI. Because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way. Your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing damaged in that crash. You can face a life-altering injury or potentially death. But you're not the only one that could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call a sober ride. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Two things that I really want to ask or must ask in this situation. First, in regards to the women, I don't really want to attack or, you know, really speak on your clientele, but obviously with my research, you spoke about low functioning individuals, male and female. What's the percentage of males or females that you counsel that are low functioning? What's that percentage?
Love it. Collectively, or you want me to go male and female?
Break it down from male and female.
Okay. I would say, interesting enough, I would say that there are 70% low functioning women, 40% low functioning men.
What? What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with those low functioning men, did they ever say that a man of high function will never really know true love?
No, I don't even believe that, but no.
Okay. So, what identifies a woman to be high functioning?
A high functioning woman is a woman who wants you. She doesn't need you. And let me clear that up. When I say she doesn't need you, it doesn't mean she's independent. That means she is interdependent. I only not need you because my pain doesn't need your pain. My dysfunction doesn't need your dysfunction to feed it for us to be in this relationship, meaning I don't need a trauma bond with you, okay? She wants you because she wants the healed part of you, but has the capacity, because we're all human, we ain't perfect, to facilitate and deal with the unhealed part of you that's gonna show up in the relationship at some point. And hers is gonna show up too, mine is gonna show up too. And so that's why I always say, I want a hybrid. I want a hybrid for y'all out there who wanna know, meaning a man who's high functioning enough to meet my healthy high functioning, but low functioning enough to deal with me when my abandonment inflames, to deal with me when some of my dysfunctions that I'm still working on inflame. Because if he's too high functioning, guess what? He doesn't have the bandwidth to deal with the low functioning part, which then means he can only connect with folks who are not being fully authentic within themselves. Meaning you may have a loving relationship, but you won't have a real intimate, deep, vulnerable relationship. I'm a woman who seeks connection and vulnerability. I'm not into casualties or casual sex, just TMI or not, meaning I like the depth of things. And so I need you to see me. I need you to see my broken. I want you to see my heart, whatever that comes with, and I'm not embarrassed about it. I'll tell you about it, I'll show it to you, and I'm okay with a man who can facilitate it. But what a high functioning man may do is if he's all the way high functioning, he has already cut off the side of him that is authentic, and there's a superficialness there that won't allow him to connect with a real person. So can he still love and experience love? Yeah, love has it just loves everything. But will he experience the depth of some of the wholeness of love, meaning the down, the up, the ugly, the heaven, the hell mom was talking about? No. And let me say this really quick, and this is why trauma bonds usually feel like the most intense, in love, deepest relationships, because you got two at the epitome of vulnerability, pain pocket people who are bonding. And most people who are low functioning are exactly who they are. Exactly who they are. Doesn't make it bad for being who they are. Exactly who they are. That's their pain, their trauma. They're gonna flee, they're gonna scream, they're gonna hit, they're gonna do whatever comes up. right? Fuck it, I'm mad. Whatever comes up, they there. There's no awareness, there's no stop, there's no nothing. I'm triggered, I'm inflamed, we just go there, let's tear this thing up, right? High functioning only means, Cam, that I feel them same feels. I still feel, excuse my language, you got me fucked up. I'm ready to go there. I'm flamed, I'm triggered. It's all there, right? But it's still dormant, it's still in me. And high functioning means I can regulate those emotions. Watch this, and say, okay, right now I'm ready to rip this man's head off. Right now he got me all the way fucked up. Okay, so how do I relay that message to him where it's gonna be respectful, it's gonna be non-combative, and I'm gonna disarm him? While he still knows, you got me fucked up. Because I don't have to say those words for you to know, I think I went too far with Doc. And you still feel respected and loved so that I just disarmed you and we can still have an engaging, emotionally intelligent conversation that ends in resolve, whether resolve means win-win, because resolve is really win-win, or one person wins or none and we agree to disagree and we can still go to the cigar lounge and have a drink and you have your cigar. But low-functioning people gonna tear this thing up with no emotional regulation. They're also gonna choose a person who does it with them and allows them to do it. Because I only can do to you what you allow me to do. Because if I start cutting up in here and you say, Doc, we love you, love to have you here, but you gotta go and you're not welcome back, is no pun intended, that's not our culture here. Guess what, I can't do that again. And that's not called fleeing. You emotionally, intelligently said, Doc, love you here, you're a great guest, but that's not our culture. We don't do that here. Now I have a choice to make. Do I wanna be in a relationship with Cam? Do I wanna be welcome back here? Self-inventory. You just did me the best favor you could have ever did. By excusing me, you blessed me. Because now I gotta look at myself and say, what needs to be done for me to fit in this? Now let's flip it. I'm with a dude who's turned up. He's a womanizer. He got all these women. He spend money on me. He treat me good. And what you said earlier, he D's me down. You didn't say you would D me down, but use the D word, clarity. He D's me down. And so I come in and I tell him, no, I'm not a woman. I'm like wholesome. I'm not into casual sex. I don't do all that, but I'm in love with him. And he lets me know, check this out, baby. Daddy love you. There's a place for you here. But not like that. You got to be able to do these things. Check back in when you can. That woman has a choice to make too. She goes and takes self-inventory and says, do I want to do these things so I can fit in with daddy? Or do I want to stay true to who I am? Either way, it's a choice. But high-functioning people have the ability to take a step back internally, not physically, process what they feel, hear their emotions in the real space that they're saying, because my emotions curse people out and things all day. But I regulate it, code switch it, deliver the message so you're receptive to it and you feel it with love, but I'm saying the same damn thing I was saying in here. And now we have a relationship. Now we have respect. And now we good. And now, like your mama said, because I love that quote, tell her that, please, I love that. We can go to heaven together and we can take this journey to hell as well.
But no, are you willing to go to hell?
No, I just said both.
Yeah.
Both.
So, I don't think my question was clear, or the answer wasn't clear as far as a high functioning woman.
Yeah.
And
It's simple. High functioning woman feels the same thing a low functioning woman feels. She does two things differently. High functioning woman can regulate her emotions to articulate it so it comes out with emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And she uses what she feels, and chooses with her healthy self and not her dysfunctional self.
Okay.
That's the only difference.
Now, explain to me what a high functioning man is.
A high functioning man, identical to a woman. He can feel what he feels, he regulates his emotions, and he chooses how he's gonna deliver that message so that woman receives it and she's not armed and now we're at war. That's what a high functioning man does. And he's also able to sit through hard, challenging conversations without fleeing or abandoning that woman, and using his emotional intelligence that says, I hear you and I understand you. But baby, I don't agree with that one part.
There's a lot of things that I don't agree with
I don't agree with that.
in this conversation.
Yeah.
Going back to what I said with that 40% of men who are high functioning that you counsel, what I said was, most men understand this. We don't really find true love because it's what can you do for me? Because a man's job is to provide. Now, this is where most high vibrational man, high functioning man go through. As far as being emotionally intelligent, that still does not qualify you as being high vibrational. The thing that is often said on two counterparts, two species, from a woman, it's about self-worth, how I feel. I'm not gonna allow you to treat me like this. I'm not gonna allow you to talk to me like this. I know my non-negotiables. I know my worth. Fine. Are all qualifying things for any woman to say to herself or to the universe, I'm high vibrational. Now, the thing for me is that doesn't qualify for men, because you can have all the emotional intelligence, all the trigger points to be able to communicate. But if you stand at your mama house, all that's out the door. You understand what I'm saying? So society dictates what a man's value is, respectfully, and it's shameful to say it that way, but that's the surface level identifier of a high vibrational man, amongst other things. Now, these things are what women always say, oh, well, I'm not doing this, or yeah, this, that, and the third, and that's fine. But different rules for different species.
You're like, that's fine.
So
Right.
that's where I'm saying to you, it's like, okay, for that 40% or that 70% of high vibrational women, it's a little bit, the rules are a little different for men. And you can't say it's not, because it actually is. All that, he's fit, girl, I mean, everything. I mean, this, that, and the third. But Dr. Bryant ain't gonna talk to no guy that can't, number one, protect her physically, emotionally, and gives her the stability to live her life as she sees fit. And that's where the high vibrational man steps in, and we don't need that from a high vibrational woman. So that's my caveat.
Okay, got it. You made a lot of really good points. So a man living in his mama house means he's low value, but can still be high functioning. High functioning and high value man are two different things. High valued man is more about value. What are you offering financially? What can you do for me? How can you provide for me? It has nothing to do with emotions. This is why you have a lot of high valued women and men who are extremely low functioning. It is statistically known that high valued women, not functioning, high value women, meaning powerhouse, makes money, elected official, doctor, lawyer, entrepreneur, whatever she does, she's just killing it. She does well. Educated, not educated, she just does her thing financially. She's high valued. Often end up with low functioning men.
Why?
And it's because she has high value, she doesn't have high function. Law of attraction, we attract who we are despite of who we think we are. So the man living in his mama's house that you described, right? That's based on society, that's a low value man.
Reality, not
That's
society.
fine, you can say
reality.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Right.
Value is not a functioning. High functioning is how you function. Has nothing to do with money or where you live or how you drive.
Right.
Okay. Value is the word value because it's it's what you said. How valuable are you? How valuable are you, sis? What you bringing to the table?
Okay, now.
Those are two different things.
I just want to stop you
totally,
right there before I lose my. If the man doesn't have high value,
Yes.
he will not spark the interest of no woman. Let's just put it like that. So it runs
Then answer this
in
question.
conjuncture.
Why are most low value. And low value man just means, I'll go street terms, broke.
Yes.
Okay? They're married. Them Negroes are married.
But you can't
Hold
say
on,
that
hold
that's
on.
a subjective
no,
thing.
that's
you
not.
can't
That's
say most because that's not true.
Statistically, when it comes to socioeconomics, Google it, have somebody here on your team pull it up. Socioeconomically, women, Google it, predominantly black women, socioeconomically, are exceeding when it comes to money, street term, bread. Hold on. That means if they marry, they're married to a man who's making less money, no money, or broke money. Hold on. Now, low-valued men are married to somebody, whether she low, high, whatever. He got him a wife. And let me go a little further. And usually if you don't have a wife, he got a whole hell lot of kids by different women.
Watch out now. Watch out, you're speeding.
Yeah, I am.
You're speeding.
I'm poking
We
speed.
going there. Hold on. Let me take this.
So let me finish
Let me
this.
take this. Let me
finish
take this
point.
glove off.
Let me
real
finish
quick.
this point. So again, low-valued men, meaning street term broke, they're married. And they oftentimes, if not more than often, have multiple kids by multiple men. Okay?
Woman. Whoa.
No. I'm going somewhere.
Low. You said
By
low.
oh no, I'm going somewhere with that. They have multiple kids by multiple men. Hold on. And women. We in a whole different society. You talking about reality.
No. You said low vibrational men are married with multiple.
Let me say it again. They're married, and if they're not, they usually have multiple kids
Okay.
with multiple women. Hold on. And I'm going somewhere with this. Have multiple men. Meaning that men and women are choosing low-valued men. That's subjective. Because in the society we live in today, you have a lot of different dynamics of polyamorous, different dynamics of relationships. And when you're talking about men today and women, I'm not just knocking on the men, relationships don't just go one way. And we're talking about a low-valued man. We're not just talking about heterosexual men, right? I could talk about the whole gamut. Do I have to stay in one pocket? I'm just asking because I
No,
will.
ma'am.
Okay. So
Take it
again, low-valued men don't have to be, they could be high-functioning and low value is what I'm saying. So a man living in his mama's house is low value, but he could be high-functioning. Hold on. So how does he attract a woman who's high-functioning?
Thank you.
He's high-functioning. He attracts a high-functioning woman. Hold on. The high-functioning woman is also high value, meaning she has money, a lifestyle, and a high quality of life. And she's high-functioning. All she needs is a high-functioning man. She ain't worried about a man who also has high value. A lot of women operate like that who are powerful. I'm sure you've been in rooms with powerful women who have husbands who you have said, if not you, many have said, how did he get her? Wait a minute. And it's not even a looks thing. It's down to, I'm going to go with a really good friend of mine's, Oprah and Stedman. Mama, you know I love you. But Oprah's power. You think Stedman's low functioning or low value? Stedman is low value. He ain't low functioning, baby. There's a difference. He's low value based on, I'll use your word, reality, because regardless if he makes good money, he ain't making Oprah money.
Nobody's making Oprah money.
So he's low valued compared to that. But Stedman is not low functioning. Oprah is not.
Stedman is not low value either. Everybody's low value compared to Mama O. Let's just
Right.
say that.
So Stedman, and it's subjective again, Stedman in his relationship, we can't say marriage, in his relationship, is low value to his powerhouse, high value, high functioning
But that's not a good
woman.
example, though.
That is a great example.
That's not, because
it
anybody's going to be low value to
Cam, who
Oprah.
house do they live in?
Oprah's.
Okay, where's Stedman's house?
I have no idea.
That's my point. That is my point.
Can you give me another example?
That is my point.
Let's
Yes,
not
I
use that
did.
one, because that's not
Okay,
a reality.
another
like
example.
Oprah is living in the
Okay, wait, another
half
exa-
percent
another-
of
that's
the
fine.
world, not just the 1%, less than the 1%. Because
That's fine.
anybody, myself included, if we were to date a woman of Oprah's magnitude, it's never going to be enough. I'm going to be on her jet. I'm going to be on her yacht. I'm going to be at her functions. I would be a fucking fool
But that's
to
not-
think.
So that's not always the case. You look at Jay-Z and you look at Beyonce, Jay can be on B's lot, B can be on Jay's lot. So my whole point to drive this point is that low value or high value, low function, high function, two different things, or two different identities. Low value has to do with money and quality of life, fiduciary. Functioning has to do with how do you function innately, emotionally, psychologically as a human being. And so if you have billions of dollars, Donald Trump is low functioning. He just happens to be high value in the sense of his wealth, but he's extremely low functioning.
That's
But
subjective.
that's fine. No, and I'm not for or against him. I'm not for or against Trump. I'm just using
Right.
someone, and again, we're having a conversation, so everything's going to be
Correct.
subjective. So I'm speaking about the difference so that we can clear it up. Just because a woman is high functioning doesn't mean she's successful financially or career-wise. Just because a man is high functioning doesn't mean that either. Just because someone is high valued doesn't mean that they have a certain level of functioning. You have a lot of people that do good in the boardroom, high IQ, high functioning, interpersonal relationships, but cannot function at home in their marriage. And so those two are not relevant to each other, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you another thing that's not relevant to each other.
Mm-hmm.
A high value woman will never acknowledge a low value man. So Oprah.
Well, let me say this.
Hold on,
You're-
hold
but
on.
Cam,
hold on.
you're a man.
Hold on.
You can't
I'm
speak from
speaking-
a woman's
I'm
perspective.
speaking on reality.
High-valued women
Okay.
acknowledge, notice, sleep with, and date low-value men all the time. One, I'm in room with them, with high-valued women. Two, I am a high-valued woman, and I have at some point dated a man who is low-valued, meaning he wasn't living with his mama, but his income, socioeconomic status wasn't anywhere where somebody would go, Doc, really? He didn't have a title up to the caliber of mine. He wasn't in rooms and boardrooms. He wasn't sitting there with Congress, elected officials, and making moves and making legislation and resolutions like myself. And so at that time, I was a woman who was high valued, okay, and high functioning, who was dating a man who was high functioning, but low value, but didn't live with his mother. And for me, what he was providing in the sense of our companionship was great in that season.
Which was what?
What do you mean, which was what?
What was he providing you?
The functionality, the emotional intelligence.
functionality?
The what?
I'm asking you.
You're asking me. Wait, what did you? What word did you say?
Functionality.
You're asking me, was he making love to me
Yes.
good?
Yes.
If the sex was good?
Yes.
The sex was great.
Now let me tell
Yeah,
you
it
this.
wasn't the best I had, but it was
But
great.
this goes to my point.
But that wasn't all. You asked a question.
Yes, but I'm making a point here.
So you want me to
Even though
finish what he was
just
providing?
press a pause.
Okay.
Just press the space bar real
go
quick.
for it?
Even though you were entertaining him sexually, you will never be saw with that man because he don't fit my standards. That doesn't mean you can't
Well,
entertain him.
First of all, that's not true. So I'm the source. I'm the woman. I'm the one who was dating him. I'm going to speak from that source, not you. So as the source who was dating him, that's not true. We were seen in public. We were seen on red carpets when I was co-producing my show, as well as on Camera Psychologist with the biggest show on TV, Teen Mom Family Reunion on MTV. We did a lot of that. And we didn't enter a relationship where we led by sex, so I was tied to the sex is so good, this is what we're doing. I would have just ran that play with saying we just sexing, let's leave it there, I'm grown. I could do that. His functionality, his intellect, his high functioning is what attracted me. As that functionality continued to be attractive and foreplay me, my body started to want him. That happened about 8 months into us having a companionship. And so I'm not saying anyone who does it the first day, I'm not knocking no one, I'm just telling the reality of how we worked it out. So by the time we were intimate, the actual act wasn't all that, but our connection, our functionality, our intimacy, all the foreplay for 8 months made that sex amazing.
And-
Because it's subjective on what turns who on. And for this subject, what I'm turned on by is high functioning. I'm turned on by a man who's mature enough, emotionally intelligent enough to be a hybrid, an alpha, a submissive, a man who understands that. So for me, that's what he was feeding me, my foreplay of what turns me on as a woman. And so, yes, I not only entertained, but I was very much involved in that relationship.
With that
Yes.
remedy or that ingredient that most people do, it's going to run its course.
That's fine. But who cares? Marriage runs its course. Our divorce rate is high.
But listen to the point that I'm trying to make. As a high valued woman, she's never going to entertain a man that is not also high value. Now,
It's not true.
I will say it like this. Even though he has high function, to sustain the relationship, that high function will run its course if that's all you have. So you being who you are, you attract a certain type of man. Me being who I am, I can take anybody and transform them into who I want them to be. A woman cannot do that.
That's not true.
In most cases.
That's not true.
Okay, she's not willing.
No, I'm
to do
saying
that.
that no man can take a woman and transform her into what he wants her to be. She came in and is willing to allow you to tell her what you want and she'll submit to those. You're
Yes.
not God, and you're not the potter maker. So your hands ain't on no pot, sweetie, taking a woman and conforming. You just don't have that power. You probably would like to, but you don't have that power. You can take her, like I just said before, with the womanizer and the guy who, me being in your studio, and say, baby, these are the qualifications, and she chooses, which is her free will to never be yours, to hit them points or not. And when she chooses to hit them points, you then choose to keep her or you choose to shake her. Because you can never take water, you can never take water, baby, and make this 7-Up. You can pour it out and fill it back up, but this will never turn to what you wanted. You're not Jesus. You ain't turning water to wine. That's not how it happens. Now, you can't take a woman and make her what you want. You can tell her what you want, and I'm gonna give her power back, and she'll choose to be that. But you don't get the power of saying you made her that, whether an entrepreneur or a mother or a wife. She chooses to let you do that by telling you, I'll submit to those orders. Yeah. There's a difference. Now, with the man, a high-valued woman can do the same thing with the man. Baby, you wanna be here? This is the qualifications. This is what I need, the prerequisites. He can say yes, or he can say no. Either way. But if he chooses to do that, then that's his choice, and she got what she wanted. It's all about conduciveness. Is it conducive or not?
Right.
However, we don't potter nobody. And that's where the disconnect comes in at, with people who are high valued but low functioning.
But I don't want
Hold on, high value but low functioning. The high value, low functioning, I'm gonna say it again, y'all stick with me. High value, low functioning thinks the high value can attract the low functioning, and the low functioning and that high value person thinks they can potter the low functioning and mold them to be what they want. It don't work like that at all. That person still chooses to become what you're telling them you want them to be. That's still their power, and they can take it back when they want. And let me hit on something else you said. You said that high functionality will run its course. I believe the opposite.
Without value. See, this is where you keep trying to skew my words or my intentions of my words. I'm not saying
but without value. But what I'm saying is
Yes.
I still don't agree with that point. I don't say your point's a bad point. I just don't agree with it.
I just think you're taking it out of my contents my intentions for saying that. That's what I believe you're doing. And that's not my intentions. Like, you're making points of things that I did not intend.
You said high functionality will run out without value, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm hitting on that point.
For a high value woman, high functioning will run its course if you do not have any value.
And I'm saying that I don't see that being the case.
Okay.
From being in my field.
But hold on, just real brief.
Yes.
You were saying to that analogy of you turning water into 7-Up. I never thought that I was God or Jesus to be able to control.
But when you say I could take a woman and make her what I want. That's the same thing. That's the same thing. You're taking me and making me what you want. You're taking Jessica and making her what you want. It doesn't matter. You cannot turn water to wine. That's her power. She comes in, you tell her what you want, and she chooses to do that. And if she becomes that, it's because of her choice. Because the day she chooses to undo that, it's undone.
But
so it's
can I make
still,
my-
the power is still with her. No one can take anyone and make them anything.
Right.
Not me, not you. No one has that power.
But the
Thank
only
God.
reason why a person is considering what I need them to be or will prefer them to be or
Let's
would
see what
like
you
them
say.
to be is because of my value as a man. If I did
See,
not have any value.
That's not why. I love that you think that.
but
It's for
listen.
the payoff that they get. It's their payoff. Everything we
What's
do
the
is for
payoff?
our payoff. It's subjective. So I can say what I think. Let me say this. A woman who would be with a man of your value and become everything you want her to become, because you ain't gonna make her, okay? The payoff would be she gets to be provided for. We're talking about the high value part. She gets to live in a beautiful home. She gets this high quality of life. She gets to be able to possibly have a family with a man who also, has a celebrity status, right? She gets to be in the limelight somewhat. Maybe she has a business, and maybe this relationship is a strategic relationship for her. She can use this to kind of maneuver or what she has going on.
Right.
See, so the answer will be different from a high functioning woman than a low functioning woman. Me, high functioning, I'm listing what I'm thinking. Strategic relationship.
For sure.
I'm a doctor.
For
I
sure.
can move in. I got limelight. You have a lot of limelight.
Right.
Retired NFL player. Okay, in my opinion, Hall of Famer. So we got things that can benefit me as a payoff because I'm a professional who's high functioning.
Yes.
I'm not looking at it like I can nest in you, move in, put my feet up, and now I can live free. Now, another woman subjectively could think that that's the value, but there's a payoff for why we do anything we do in life. We all have a pay, and it doesn't make it bad. That's life. It's always an exchange of, I will submit to these things that Cam wants because these are the things that I know would come with me submitting.
Yeah, but that's what goes back to the original statement.
Yes.
Will a man really understand true love? Because when you identify those things, it was how can I benefit from the situation? He has high status, I have high status.
Right.
I'm have a business, it matches that. So to my point, when I'm saying I can make a woman in regards to that, I see way too many times a high value man takes a low functioning woman or a low value woman and increase her status overnight. Now, it's still a process. It's still a level
Right.
of submission from both sides,
Right.
not just a female
Right.
side, but also the male side. And also, there's a patience that goes into that to be like, yo.
Wait, hold on. Depending on the negotiation, because some of that stuff, I'm saying could move fast because everyone's negotiation process is different. You know
For
what I mean,
sure.
Cam? Meaning if we coming in saying, okay, Cam, this is a strategic dating thing, we both know it, we gonna have this all planned out, we just gonna hit these points. Meaning that would come into fruition a lot sooner because we're clear on the plan. Versus if I came in without you knowing my plan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Cam, yeah, hey. It may be a little longer process, I agree.
Yeah.
But you keep saying the man thing, which I love, that will a man ever really experience true love?
Right.
My answer to that two-part answer, one, I'm not a man.
Right.
And I believe that a woman should stay in her place when it comes to answering men's question from a place of being the source and instead say my opinion. Just like I think a man also should stay in his place when answering questions about us because y'all not us, you don't know. But you can say in my opinion, in my experience or what I think. So I would hope that men could experience real love. However, I believe that it would take more than a high functionality. It would take more than high valueness. It would take more than being able to come in and, make a woman or make a man, whoever we want them to be. Being in love and feeling and experiencing that fully is more about how open and vulnerable we have already allowed ourselves to be with ourselves.
Right.
Right? So meaning I receive love from you at the level of receptivity I already am when I come and meeting you. Whether it's friendship, business, romantic, you can't love me deeper than I love myself. Let me word that better. You can feel the love deeper for me than I love myself. I won't receive it and feel it past the level that I love myself.
Yes, ma'am.
So where the disconnect comes out, not with us, but with people, is you telling me Doc, like I love you with everything. Like I'm giving you the world. Like no, I'm loving you like I've never loved any. And if I'm unlovable and I haven't worked through my stuff, and I don't have the awareness to say, but baby, it ain't your love that is the issue. It's my ability to receive it and be topped off. Now, if I said that to you as my partner, which is that emotional intelligence just means I understand myself and I'm able to articulate who I am, in most cases, that would make you love me more and have a better understanding and try to help me, I would think, figure out how to get those barriers, right?
Unlock something.
Barriers so that you can I could receive your love.
Right.
And then in return, I'm able to reciprocate it at a deeper level for you, because this is the thing. If you're already loving me deeper than I can feel, that means that your love tank is already deeper. That means you're a gallon and I'm a pint. Mm-hmm. So if your gallon, right, poured everything into my pint,
it's gonna overflow.
It's gonna overflow, and and even though it's amazing, right? I can't. It's overwhelming for me, Cam. I can't take it.
I've seen that analogy,
right?
And I received that. But
right.
to even make it more clear cut, what I mean by a man not having or not really identifying true love, is because men's love is almost predicated on transaction
versus relational.
Versus emotions.
Yeah, which
you
is
see what I'm saying?
emotional.
Like I unlock these things when there is a transaction here where it's like, okay, even if I'm low functioning, what picks up my slack is the ability to be high value.
There you go.
And then, which goes back to my point, to a woman won't do that for a man. And that's just the reality.
Won't do what part?
She won't go to the depths of understanding, like, yo, even though I have a high functioning man, if he doesn't provide value, then that function will run its course. Because if you're dealing with a high function and a high value woman, as we've identified her to be, those things will then need that matched. And more times than not saying that it's not capable or incapable of happening, these things have a deadline where it's like, okay, what are we really doing?
But I also, that goes to my point of saying that pain needs things, trauma needs things, healing wants. So when you have a woman who is healed and ain't perfect, okay, not perfect, just healed, done the work, she would be able to sustain any relationship that she's in with another human, regardless of where they are functionality, value-wise, who is also just willing to sustain it, because she doesn't need him to do anything. She knows how to attach to the things that she wants in him. And from the beginning of meeting him, before we got to being married and being intimate, I've already identified, I want that, and that in you. We're talking about now, not tangible things. I want these things in you. These 5-hour conversations we have all night after I've seen clients for 12 hours, baby, that recharges me to get up and kill the day. That's more important to me. I'm just speaking, maybe it's not me, but that's important to me.
You speaking.
When I come home and I'm able just to lay up under you, and you're funny as hell and start joking, and I wasn't in no mood to joke, but you light me up, that's what I want in you. That's what I want. And so my healed part is picking the parts that are now feeding the healed in me. So I don't really need you to do anything outside of the functionality that I'm wanting from you. Now, when you come in and say, I say to you, baby, I want to go to Bora Bora, and you say, you know, daddy can't afford that, right? Do I turn and say, you ain't daddy? Hold on. Or do I do like Monique does with her husband and still call you daddy? Now, if you're asking me, subjective, whoever I choose, wherever he is, high or low or medium value. I hope he's a hybrid like myself. He's daddy, and I love him. And I'm choosing from a place of being healed now, so I'm choosing what I know that I want long-term and not need for the season that my pain is in. See, I chose my ex-fiancés based on what the abandoned young woman needed in that season. I had no idea what I wanted. Healing introduces you to what you want. Pain and trauma eclipse what you want. It's always there, eclipse that. So as a woman now, do I want a man who is high functioning and high value and all those things? I mean, that would be great. But if I met a man who had what I wanted, not because I don't need it, but what I wanted, would I treat him any different than a man who's a billionaire? I'm gonna treat him better, because it's not because I have money and I don't need the money. I'm saying that when you think of longevity, okay, this is the problem. People are picking for the season. I'm not, but I'm 35 and I'm in my prime and I want to live a certain quality of life and I want to go on trips. That's what you want at 35, baby. But you ain't made it to 50 or 60 yet. And this is where what you were saying as far as you have wise counsel around you. You got women like your mama who would say, baby, listen, you might choose him at 35, but that man ain't gonna be
with him at 55?
Hello.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. So my thing is, a healed woman or man, we're choosing now for 55, 60, and 70, and 80. I'm choosing now the father for my kids. I'm not getting pregnant and then going, Cam, so you don't change diapers? These are conversations, these are foreplay conversations to me when I'm dating you. It's, so how do you feel about kids? What religion do you feel our kids should be? Do you think private school or this?
Just drop the big bag on private school.
But for me, that's what I'm saying, the functionality does matter. For me, these conversations are foreplay.
Yes.
So do you believe in discipline? Are you gonna get mad if our kids have a black mom in the house and I say, get your ass off the couch? Is that a problem with you because you cursed at my kid? See, this is foreplay for me. So when I say conversations that are high functioning look like that for me, if this is feeding me and we end up married, that means you've already fed me enough where I believe you can take me to 50, 60. Not you can take my 41-year-old self to freaking Paris and buy me a Birkin and I can shine for the season. And then in your words, it runs its course. If I'm choosing for today, whatever our intention is what manifests. If I'm choosing for a meal ticket or if I'm looking for you to have an investment baby with, because that happens too, let's keep it 100.
A lot.
Okay, so then once we get together and I'm left as a single mama, knowing my intent was to get pregnant anyways, why am I gaslighting you? When I knew my intent was to come in, I didn't tell you my intent, but I knew what my intent was. I'm trying to get the bag. So we only lasting my intention, not yours. My intention runs its course. I get the baby, I get the bag, and you not there. Now I'm going, Cam's horrible. He ain't no good father. I'm just saying from that situation.
I can't relate. Let's just change that name because
that's
folks
fine.
going.
But what I'm trying to explain is it runs its course.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And so for women who are choosing from a place of being healthy, we're choosing from what we want. And what we want, not just for today, what we want long-term in a partner. And again, your trauma will always choose what it needs to be fed now, which means your ego says, I need the limelight, so I'm gonna choose him for that. I need the trips. I need whatever I never had. I need to not feel abandoned right now, and this Cam's giving me the attention for my abandonment to feel cushioned. Let me choose that. And then what happens is I choose it once, it becomes a cycle. Women get comfortable in the dysfunction, which was already what I was choosing from in the first place. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just nest in dysfunction, knowing that I can't get nowhere in this. Because whether dysfunction runs its course or it keeps running its course, either way, it's unhealthy.
See, this is where, and we got to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
But I would say this, to that point that you just made, I think men find or should find a lot of value in resumes of women to say, you mean to tell me you don't got nobody that your parents ain't, your auntie ain't, your girl, your closest friend, she ain't in a relationship? Okay, cool. But also as a woman, I'm about to procreate with a man he already got multiple kids that he's not taking care of. Where's the accountability? So you are literally saying, I'm going to be the difference maker in this situation.
And how often does that happen?
A lot.
No,
Now,
how often does that person become the difference maker?
No,
None. It almost never happens.
So I will move this discussion right along. Curious to know, have you ever dated outside your race?
I have.
Okay. Could you, for the people in the audience who's watching this or will watch this, could you date outside your race?
I could.
Okay. Now, is that something that, are you open in regards to manifestation? Listen, God, just bring him to me. I mean, good hair, nappy hair. I mean, European hair, Wakanda hair. It don't matter. I need my hubby.
Dominican hair. Yes, I am very obedient to God's will first. And God has the permission to override any silly decisions I make, okay, to bring me his will. However, and I'm open to dating outside my race.
Right.
If I can have it my way, right? And it's something that I'm choosing from. I love my black men. And so I wouldn't be choosing outside of my race, how can I say it? Because black men weren't my priority. It would be, again, an organic, it happened, this man happened to be long-term meeting wants, and this is just what, in my spirit, God says, this is what I have for you. And him too he'd be the king, he would be daddy, he'd be all that, regardless if he came Wakanda hair, and as long as he have a Wakanda, okay, anyways. But what I was saying was, I'm back. We talking about my husband. I had to manifest him the right way.
Yeah, you did.
The right way, ladies.
Yeah, you did.
Doc is back. But I would definitely date outside my race. Yes.
So, does race matter in regards to finding love?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So,
not love.
You know Wakanda only come in Wakanda packages.
Have you been to Africa?
I'm from Africa.
Have you traveled to Africa?
I'm in Atlanta, baby. This is Africa.
So have you traveled to Africa?
Not the country.
Not the continent.
No.
Okay, so.
Or the continent, I apologize.
Yeah,
yes.
no problem. So you were saying it may be challenging for a single woman to counsel married people. Well, I've traveled to Africa. So maybe hard for a man who has not traveled to Africa to say that in Africa you only see one kind of
Watch where you're going now.
race of men, okay?
You're stepping in some quicksand if we want to go down that road.
Whatever you want to do. I'm just saying that love has no color, but also when you're talking about what kind of size, I don't believe that only one race of a species has a certain what kind of size. Now, I don't want to go deep into talking about penises for 15 minutes because I don't think that's what will help. Remember, my purpose is I want to do my job and I want to give the audience things that can change lives and I want to entertain. But I don't think a big penis has to do with one race of men. But if you want to go there real quick and touch it, go for it.
No.
Have you dated a white guy?
Never.
Okay. So you don't know.
I've never dated a guy.
You would not know.
I've never dated a guy.
Right. Okay. So for a woman who has dated.
Let's just put that out there.
I've never been intimate with a man outside of black, but dating a white guy, I can say that there's a difference in cultural experiences.
Yeah.
But I don't think I haven't seen, but I haven't been intimate with a white man. But I mean, I haven't seen things. I don't think there's a big difference to me in white or black when it comes to your penis.
This is my point that I was saying, and we're kind of taking a
that's what I
step
said.
back to Euro step to try to score.
Right.
Now, I'm having a hard time to believe a very educated, a very attractive woman out of 41 years have not met Mr. Right. Mm-hmm. That's enough time to find a lot of things out.
I bet.
And yet, no kids, single. I'm not, but I am saying, are women's expectations unrealistic?
No, I'm gonna say, like I said on Nick, the question shouldn't be why isn't a woman of age, of success, of a certain caliber not married with kids? The question should be why are people rushing to the altar just to become divorcees or baby mamas and baby daddies? I think if anything, we need to be teaching our society, take your time, young man or young woman, so that you can get to know not just this person, but yourself first, so that you can choose a life partner, not that that person isn't exempt to divorce, instead of rushing to the altar just to become a divorcee or a baby mama and have multiple kids by multiple women, just to say you have broken families everywhere. I don't see no benefit in that. I believe, like I tell my brother, he's in here, Shane, all the time, and who's 31 with no kids and doing well for himself, take your time. You don't need to rush to an altar just to divorce this woman. And another thing is people who actually feel high valued within themselves, not financially, internally they feel high valued. They're not rushing to have a wife or a husband at the expense of divorce just to feel like they've added value to themselves. Because it's a deficit if you're marrying for the wrong purposes. It is an asset if you're marrying from a place of creating a family, of creating stability, of raising kids who can see this thing move and this house not be homeless, but this house have wealth in it, the real wealth that actually sustains. And so for me, I'd rather take my time choosing than end up doing time because I'm making wrong decisions. I'm good.
Say less. Next question. How young are you willing to go?
Ooh, I love that. See, now this is when the conversation
Come on.
gets good.
Come on now. We want to know that.
I'm gonna.
Because, like, look, I told you now.
Listen.
Look.
Hold on.
Come on.
What?
'Cause
you going or I'm going? Who going first?
You. I
Okay.
mean, you're the guest.
So I'm willing to. I think, late 20s,
Men, this is where you turn the TV all the way up. Go ahead.
late 20s
Okay.
would be the youngest.
We gotta put a
However,
name. We got to put a number on that, though. Like you, 27, 26.
27-ish.
X's.
But
Okay.
again, it depends on the maturity level of that man.
But this is where, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
But
I
this
knew.
is where
I baited you. I knew where we were going.
your patience has
Be there.
to give him the
100%.
patience to bring his value
Yeah.
up, or his function up to his
100%.
value.
100%.
Right.
100%.
But
100%.
so now
100%.
100%
Yeah,
this too.
100%.
A woman
Yeah.
who has high value will not entertain or be patient with a guy that does not have
Yeah, especially if she has certain
100%.
100%.
100%.
She will.
That's-
Especially if she has certain especially if she has certain criterions that she knows most men of her age won't meet.
That's what I'm
Yes,
trying-
she has to.
So therefore, I'm telling you,
If
a
that's what
man
she
of high
wants, she has
value
to.
it's a transactional type of thing. So to your point, it's like, I know, I look at you, I look at women all the time. I have a beautiful establishment that we're in right now,
Right.
Fellowship. It garners a consumer that's about their business. This is
Absolutely.
not hookah smoking and standing on couches
Right.
and,
Twerking and
section.
doing
No,
the
no,
most,
it's
right.
not that.
Right.
This is sugar daddy's addy in here. This is businesswoman. No, you need to, we need to get this on right. I
Lord.
see it happen
Yeah.
so many times.
Wow.
Dress code. You're not coming in here with Jordans and flip-flops. Like you can't do that. You can't disrespect the altitude.
Yeah, the culture of what's here.
You see what I'm
100%.
saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
with that, I know and I understand a lot of people see my situation and not think that I'm not high function.
What situation?
See my situation. That's a very vague question, and it's for you
What
to
situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high function?
just my life.
Your life entirely, or your life in
My life,
relationships?
my life.
See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning.
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my
no,
intentions
no.
away from this. Can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yeah, some more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I thought I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now,
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I
I'm
just
saying,
want
or
God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just
Because
bring him,
my
okay.
point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Brian, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active, okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without Daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health-wise, and community-wise, that Black men would stop.
Black men will what?
Stop doing that, that they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and creating houses, not homes, and then finally a home with the wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless, but you over here at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will, you'll get whatever you want, you're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish, epitome of selfish. I'm done, you can go for it.
Okay, say less. All right, so what identifies as a broken home?
What you have going on with these, whoever you're not in the house with is a broken home. It's called a blended family. It's called a blended family.
That means?
That the family is blended. So blended
So
means,
blended means broken?
yeah.
Okay, so the guy that you were entertaining, you would go as low as 26.
That I would entertain?
Yes.
Got it, okay.
And as high as what age?
Whatever man that doesn't have kids.
As high as?
Whoever doesn't have kids, whatever age he is with no kids.
I just.
No, that's the age. I'm saying I don't have an age range as far as how old if he has no kids.
So your
he's a candidate.
non-negotiable is a person who does not have children.
My non-negotiable is a person with kids, but yes, I get how you're saying it, yes.
So you cannot date a person. You cannot be with a
I
person.
can, but I'm choosing not to.
So
I can be with anyone, but I'm choosing not to.
You're
I gotta correct it. It's my narrative, Cam.
You're
I
like
can,
jumping in,
I
jumping out. It's either
can. No, it's not I can't. There's no such thing. I can date whoever I want. I am definitely well equipped to do so.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna allow that word to be something that fits what I can't do. I'm well equipped to date anybody.
Yes.
My preference,
Yes.
because there's nothing wrong with a lot of men who have kids, so I don't wanna put that narrative out there.
Yes.
My personal preference is I would not choose to date a man with kids.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're dating a man with kids. Just a scenario.
Oh, okay, got it. Yes.
You're dating a man with kids.
Yes.
So you've identified that that's a broken home from the jump. With your verbiage of blended family means broken.
I've identified that I'm dating a broken man who is creating who he is, because we could teach what we know, we create who we are. And so broken people create brokenness, whether it's through a child, whether it's through a relationship, whether it's through themselves. It doesn't have to be a beautiful baby, but you're creating brokenness. And broken people can come from married households. I'm not saying that a two-parent household can't create the result of a child who then has brokenness and creates broken blended families everywhere. I'm not negating that.
That's not my point.
No, I know, I'm making that point. But yes.
But my point.
My answer is I not only identified that those homes are houses without a home because he's not in them,
Yeah.
but also that he's a broken man.
But you're going to be with a broken man.
No, I won't. I just said I wouldn't be with a man. I wouldn't be with a broken man who has multiple kids. I will take
No, not multiple. I'm
well,
talking.
a kid. It doesn't
So
matter.
you're
I don't
not
wanna-
going to date a man with children.
No, but let me clear this up because you said I won't date a broken man. That's not what I said.
No, I said, are you? Listen to what I'm saying.
I heard you.
Doc.
Let me answer it. Hold on. We all have a level of brokenness. So will I date a broken man? Yes. Am I going to date a certain type of brokenness? No.
Of course you're not.
And that type of brokenness is a man who has kids outside of me isn't something that's conducive for what I want forever.
But will you date him?
No.
So that goes to my point. I'm trying to ask
Mm-hmm.
a question. You have two different men right here. One man who has.
I will not date a man with kids.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Yes. I will
But
not.
do you understand, just off of the statistics,
Here we go. Go ahead and be a statistic and say it because I hear it all the time.
what?
Say it.
You say what you're saying, and I'm going to either.
Based on
agree
statistics, most men have kids. Go for it.
at your age.
But that's why I said early on, Cam, when you said young and remember the patience of me being older woman, I said, well, for a woman who has certain qualifications or criterions like no kids,
Yeah.
that would be, I have to have enough brain cells to know, baby, that's the payoff. Okay, he may be younger, successful, no kids, but now you have to make sure you implement the patience. Or you get you an older man who has kids, and he could have been married with his kids. There's a lot of different scenarios why men have kids, okay? But then you don't have to have as much patience with him as maturity-wise. But do you want to have patience to say, and it's not even dealing with, because that's not bad, you want to have enough patience to gut the fact that you are dating a man with young kids or grown kids, and that's against what you want, your value system. For me, I rather choose the poison of, I'll have patience with you, baby. We'll just have to figure this out, and I'm cool with that, and we'll have a good time in the meantime. Then I know that you have kids. It's against something I never wanted as a child. And now, if you have young kids, I'm gonna be very involved because I'm a loving woman. I'm never gonna take
But you're giving a scenario that you're saying.
yeah, that
you're
wouldn't
not-
do.
that- yeah.
Right, and those are the reasons why I wouldn't do them.
For sure.
Because I'm gonna be involved, right? I'm never gonna be a woman who's not.
But I must defend this situation. I have 8 children. And
8 beautiful babies.
I
I'm
will
sure.
not, no baby mother of mine could ever say that she's a single mother, because single mother insinuates that she has no help. So for me in my situation, life be lifing. That's a common.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
And my situation is a product of life
Life.
happening. So,
And none of us are exempt from it.
of course.
Right,
So we
right,
have preferences. We
100%.
have things that we could say, okay, I would love to do this.
Right.
I'm raised in a church, so my father would always direct us to say, hey, be this, be that, be that, be this.
Right.
But I can also tell my father this, your reality is not my reality.
100%.
You walking into 7-Eleven is different than your son walking into 7-Eleven.
Sorry.
Makes sense to you. So I can agree with you, and we can agree to disagree, that I'm not creating broken homes. I'm doing the best with the situation that I was given and am given. So hands-on father, absolutely. I don't subscribe to just bringing fatherless children or motherless children into this world. I have an unbelievable relationship with the mothers of my children. And it's healthy co-parenting that we show the children real love, real communication,
Right.
real orders of operations. And I think that's key because even though we have this unspoken societal pressure to do this and be this, but that's just not, that's a unicorn that you're waiting for. Because if I'm sitting up here telling you like, yo, I have aspirations to have this, but my experiences have shown me that that person really doesn't exist. So when I'm asking or I'm asked questions of, is the expectations unrealistic?
Right.
Because my reality has garnered unbelievable connections with women around the world. Not in Africa, I haven't been in Africa, right? But at the same time, I've been able to make the best of my situation. And I can't say that that situation ever resulted into a broken home.
Got it. So this is my thing. You can label it whatever your hurt ego needs it to be labeled so that
Her?
you feel good about your choices. But at the end of the day, a family consists of a dynamic. And that dynamic consists of two parents and a child. And when you start to create that multiple times, that's called a blended family. And when there's somebody missing from the home, but they are the school daddy, meaning I picked them up or dropped them off to school, or they are the sports mother or father, I come to the games, but they're not the, I wake up and go to sleep with my kids, that household now is broken by the, by the family dynamic.
not
Hold on, that does not mean,
You're
Cam.
not describing me.
That does not mean, Cam, that you are not a dynamic father. That does not mean that you don't have a great relationship with him. I'm talking about the political construct of a family.
Societal construct, political construct,
If
however
that's,
you want to work.
if you want to,
But
that's what I'm saying. If you
you're
want to
saying
call it that,
things-
that's fine. Listen,
Those things that you
whatever we label
express,
it doesn't change
I
our
do
decisions,
that,
though.
That's what I'm trying to, that's what you don't understand.
So all of your baby mamas live in one house?
No, they do
Okay.
not. But my children stay with me.
So then it's still a broken
That's what I'm
household. The
trying to tell
mothers
you.
aren't in your home. So it doesn't make a
But
difference.
that's making the best of the situation.
Right. And listen, and let me say this. That part, I agree with. That part, I admire in you.
Okay.
That part, I think is amazing.
Right.
Cam, look at me. That part, I say thank you for being a man who's vertical, who stood up and dealt with his decisions, whether it was decisions you liked or you didn't, or you planned or you didn't, and you did what you had to do. That's called a man, baby. So thank you for being a man.
Yes, ma'am.
And doing your thing, seriously, with the best that you have. I think that's amazing.
Right.
And I say this, follow up, not to negate everything I just said, because I truly believe that and feel that. And I love that you did that. You didn't leave them fatherless. My father didn't leave me fatherless. It changed my life because he didn't leave me fatherless. I used to sit with him randomly and say, Daddy, thank you. For what? For not making me a fatherless little girl. Because I ain't out here desperate. And I got a daddy I can come home and nest in. I got a daddy I can come home who's a gangster, a street dude. I can make a phone call and you
And
there.
it's done.
And you there. So I ain't looking for no street, excuse my language, nigga, to save me. I got my savior. I'm good. And the street dude to save me may crucify me. I'm good. Daddy ain't gonna crucify me. See, there's a difference. So with you, I'm saying thank you because my father has 6 of us by 5 different women, but he was a father. And so when you say, Doc, but I'm a daddy, don't negate that. I hear you more than you believe me hear you because I had a daddy who was a father. And he wasn't in the house with all of us, but from a woman who was a little girl who had the best daddy I've seen a girl have straight up to this day. I'm not saying you ain't, but that's my daddy. I wasn't in the house with him. So the things that whoever he was in the house with, that environment is different from me coming over and seeing it. Now, for your babies, they all live with you. Their environment is different from when they go with mommy and mommy has whoever's in that house. So the roles have just switched, but it still makes, not the kids, hear me out, it still makes the household dynamic is a blended, broken household. It doesn't mean that your babies have to grow up broken. This is what I want to be clear on. It doesn't mean that you as a father can change their life. Listen, I beat the odds of being a baby mama because I had a daddy that wasn't in the house, but he was in my life, he was in my ear, he was in my ass about decisions. So this is why I'm saying the household, baby, is still broken, but it doesn't mean your kids have to be. But it's about coming into awareness of what really is. And like my father knew, he had blended families, broken homes, but he tried to overcompensate, and he did in every way he could by being a daddy. So that's all I'm saying is we can label it what we want, but the reality is this is what a blended family looks like, unless you're telling me it's polyamorous, and you're not. This is what a broken household looks like. Now, let me go further. Do broken households make for good people? You damn right. I'm not a statistic. I ain't perfect. I work through my stuff. I come from the inner city, the hood. I'm a product of teenage parents, a dope dealer and an addict who is now sober and killing it. My mom was a VP of my company, runs everything, got her own business, and I'm a doctor. So people like me come from situations like that. So I'm always advocate for it, but I'm always keep it real about what it is. Because in order for us to take it and heal it and do something with it, we gotta call a damn duck a duck so we know where to put it, what to feed it, how to do it, and what it needs. We can't be in this society as Black people and want to give things different words so that it makes us feel better about our decision. The decision is made. It is a broken home. It is a blended family. And now what are we going to do with these beautiful babies so that your son, you got boys? I'm guessing out of 8, you got to have some boys. So that your boys make different and better decisions than daddy did. Not that you didn't do the best of what you had, but so your boys can say, Daddy, I admire you, but I did it different. Daddy, thank you for not letting me be fatherless, but I did it different. Your daughter can say, Daddy, I only married him and got all 5 kids with just one because 2 things, you was in my life, and because I didn't have to choose from despair, and because I love you, but I didn't want to have 3 or 4 or 5 kids by multiple men. So I chose different than you. But watch this. But he has these similarities about you that I love. He's loving. He won't leave me hanging. He's stable. He got my back. Because that's what I love about you. But your choices is what I didn't choose in this man. And that's okay. I don't choose my father in men who have the multiple kids, but I choose my daddy in men who are solid and who got my back and who love me unconditionally and who dote on me and still treat me like his baby at 41. That's all I'm saying. So you're doing a hell of a job, thank you. But the situation is what it is. It's the reality of it.
I can talk.
Yes.
Okay. Whew. Now, we're going to press the space bar with that real quick, and we have to get to our game.
We have a game?
Oh, you don't play games?
I do.
Okay.
I love games. I'm excited. I was excited.
I'm pretty sure 26 don't come with a lot of games.
Yeah, a lot
but
of
needless to
them.
say, let's play a game.
Let's
Dr. Bryant, with Dr. Bryant. You hear other people's emotions. Let's learn about yours. In a game we like to call Inside Out with Dr. Bryant.
I love it. Let's go.
The movie Inside Out plays on the tropes of 5 different core emotions. You seen Inside Out?
I haven't. I need to.
You don't got kids, so. Using this idea as a reference, giving us 5 things that cause a deep joy, anger, sadness, fear, and disgust. Right? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a word, and you're going to give me an example of what triggers these.
Ooh, this is good. Okay, I'm gonna have to use this with my clients.
I'm telling you.
Can I steal it? Can I use it? This is.
I got it's something that's so pending, and I look. I'm trying to be so obedient and function in high value or high functioning
use it
by
with
just
my client?
stopping and saying, oh, I can't. Woosah. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The first word is emotions.
Love and healthy.
The next word is joy.
My family, my brother, Shane, my mom, my nieces and nephews.
Next word, anger.
I can't say the word that came to my mind, but I'm a
funky.
code switch it.
No, keep it funky.
I gotta
Keep
code
it
switch
funky.
it, Cam.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh,
See,
my
you promised to keep it funky, all funky. So help you God. Why you keep reciting all these biblical versions and all these different.
Yeah, it ain't met the biblical about what I thought. Okay, say the word again and I'll say it. Say the word again.
Well, like they say in church, let them use you.
Woo.
So, the word is, as you heard, you're so intellectual for you not
So
to
I
listen.
can't code switch it. Damn. Go ahead.
Anger.
I'm F-U-C-K. Negroes. That's what comes with it. And it's
F-U-C-K, fuck, nigga, free, yes.
That's what comes to mind. Yeah.
You get angry about that?
About that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got to break those generational curses,
Wow.
man. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. All right, here we go. Next word is sadness.
God, that didn't resonate with me. It should take me longer to get there. Sadness. I'm stuck.
No, impossible.
No, I'm
Not
let me
you.
take, oh, well,
Stuck. No.
with the sadness, I'd have to go with my father and grandmother's recent death. That would go with grief for me.
Yeah.
Grief, 100%,
Okay.
yeah.
Next word is fear.
Fearless comes up for me. Bring it. Whatever it is, let's go.
But that's deflecting.
Yeah, but I'm not a fear person. So, fear of fear of fear of creating a broken home for my babies. I don't want that. If I had to choose a fear, creating a broken home for my babies.
Okay.
I've waited too long.
Last word,
Oh shit.
disgust.
A nasty, abusive, narcissist, personality, attitude, with no intent but to bleed and spill their pain onto other people. Disgusting.
There you have it.
Yeah.
But can I go back to something real quick?
Yeah, of course, of course.
With your prognosis, Doc, of my situation, would you consider me a high value man?
High valued or high functioning?
High value and high functioning.
High valued, yes. I think that you are. Wait. Well, hold on. You know,
Oh, you
value's
got
different
my
than functioning.
undivided
Okay.
attention,
High
so-
valued, yes.
Okay.
Because obviously you have the value,
Okay.
right? High functioning, I believe that you are a hybrid. I think that you are in the journey, in the process of still becoming. I think that you have more low functioning behaviors. Seriously, and I think that your thoughts and emotions, when you're allowing yourself to really be you, not Cam Newton I'm on, not Cam on the field, whatever this personality you've created, I think your thoughts and emotions are high functioning when you're being the core of the essence of who you are. And I, damn, I'm just gonna be obedient. And I believe and hope that
Please.
Your
speak
babies,
free.
especially your boys, they let more of that part of you that's in them shine and lead than, not the decision making, I'm not saying, then the part, has nothing to do with decision making, then the part of that has been masked or the part that entertains. I hope that they can, because for them, for their benefit, they can dwell in who they are, which is that part of the high functioning and that loving and that vulnerable piece that you do have that I've seen, just sitting here with you. That part's beautiful, and I think you should let that be out more. Why you don't? I think that goes in with your fear, but that's a whole nother segment.
goes in with
Go
who?
ahead. That's a whole nother, that goes in with your whole fear of divorce and all this other stuff, but that's a whole nother, that'd be a session we do one-on-one. A whole nother
Yeah,
session.
but those are also life experiences, though. See, this is where I was holding back from your critique on broken and blended. So basically, any man, you're fucked if you're trying to get.
Well, dang, just
Dr. Shah-
take their hope from them.
No, it's you said that.
I didn't say they're
You said
fucked.
there's no chance.
I didn't say no chance.
There's no chance.
Okay.
Your words, not mine. That
Okay.
you would ever get with a guy that had children. So the reality of that is like life happens, situations happen, and I would ascribe to this narrative: do the best you possibly can.
Absolutely.
In this thing that we call life.
100%.
Because it's tough, it's hard. I'm a father to my children, not because of me being able to pay for private schools. I'm a father to my children because I treat them not only how society is going to treat them, I give them the wisdom not only did my father give me, but I also give the nurturing that my family provided for me, doing the best. Now, my circumstances of growing up were
Right.
mom, dad, religion. I seen that. I just went down the other street that I was curious to find out, like most people.
And curiosity did what? That cat.
Bought coochie.
That cat. Yeah. And,
Oh.
and that's the problem. Buying coochie and creating babies and throwing D's instead of creating F's, which is the family. We talked about that earlier. That's a problem. That is another
Yeah, but
dysfunction that needs to stop. That's not healthy. That's
we've
dysfunctional.
identified
So
that.
curiosity killed the cat. So the cat got killed
Yeah, but
while trying to find some cat.
we've identified that, but what I'm basically saying is, even though we have hopes of having what we desire, it doesn't always,
I agree.
and that's
I agree.
my point.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
So when
But
you...
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am?
Well, you can finish. You want me to wait? I'll hold it because it's for you.
So when you try to stereotype or you try to analyze a situation, and it's a lot of people's concern and curiosity. But the truth of the matter is, my father, who is still in my life, who is the most influential male in my life,
Yeah.
and my mother also, I've seen that structure dynamic. And to the best of my ability, I will be able to give that to my children.
I believe you.
So,
Yeah,
your
I
question.
believe you. You said life, and be doing this thing, of course, and none of us are exempt to what life does, so there's no point even personalizing it. It's just more about who's next for life. What is your outlook or your analysis on people who life has lifed with, but they just happen to make different decisions that breeded a more healthier result, even with the same things that life threw? Life threw this person a curveball. One person decided to step forward and get hit by it so they could take their walk to the first base. The other one stepped back and cracked a home run. And the other one just striked out. Same curveball, right? So to the person who hit the home run, do you call it, and I'm asking this, but it could be some other answer, do you call it luck? Do you call it just a strong internal locus? Do you call them just a good decision maker? What do you say for that? Because we always talk about, the people who doing the best they can with their life, the folks who've made these certain decisions, and where do we go from there? And that's okay. But what about the people who life lifed, but they just happen to make better decisions. Not be a better person, just make better decisions. So life's results look very different for them. But they came from a place of struggle as well. What about that person?
That's a loaded question. I'm trying to answer.
Just answer it however you can think to answer it.
Yeah, but whether you took a hit, whether you striked out, whether you hit a home run or not, if you have another opportunity at bat, that's all that really matters. What are you going to do then? Because everybody who plays baseball don't always strike out. Everybody who plays baseball don't always get hit. And for damn sure, everybody who plays baseball don't always hit home runs.
Absolutely.
So you have to carpe diem, seize the moment that you're in or the situation that you're in. And no matter who it is, I will not let you dictate what you think or you think
Right.
or you, because
What you're doing or what you got going on.
yeah, it's like the truth of the matter is like, yo, I know who I am. I'm so comfortable in that. And it's so enlightening to hear these things from not just you, but just a lot of people, because it gives you different perspectives.
Right.
And at the absolute worst, we can agree to disagree.
100%, yeah.
So as I'm doing these type of things, as I'm really intrigued more like to talk, because as you went to school for your degree, I also got a degree in sociology, which also had me take psychology classes.
Yeah.
So instead of judging the stem or the branch of the tree, I'm forced to judge the foundation of the tree to really say, hold on, that goes all the way back to, you've experienced something that's making you act.
Associations to it, absolutely.
For sure. So that's how I believe. I love speaking, I love chatting. And one of the main things too that you talked about that you wanted to highlight is mental health.
Yeah.
I think as a culture, we have to normalize I'm not okay.
Yes.
We have to normalize or process emotions that may not be harmful to society, our environment, or most importantly, to you. So let's talk about mental health for you and how you've used your platform to not only acknowledge, but to educate.
Yeah, no, like I said early on, my whole purpose of becoming a doctor and doing it on television platform and then podcast platform like your amazing platform now was to, one, share my story of a little girl from the hood, and product of what I shared earlier. And so that people understand, to your point, that, whatever dirt or mud you came from, that's not the dirt or mud you got to plant in. And that, soil can be recreated and soil can be plowed up in what that looks like. And so also that saying you're not okay is actually 50% of you getting to the okay you're trying to get to. And awareness and accountability of saying, I'm in the dark, is letting someone know who can possibly help you get to the light switch to turn on the lights. And it's all about the lights turning on so that you take inventory of where you at, who you with, and who you are. And only then can you start to create when you can see.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just, to everyone in general, because mental health is a human right, it's not just a Black right.
Right.
But specifically to the folks in our Black community, we need to start to deliver and not dismiss each other. Not only in the therapy session, but on the podcast. We need to have an exchange that says, this is my subjective opinion, this is your subjective opinion. And any point in time that I feel, Cam says something that I can deliver him from. Delivering doesn't mean I'm some know-it-all or an expert. Delivering means I admire you for being a father. Dude, you are amazing for taking the breadcrumbs and saying, let me go on and make a loaf with this. So that in my perspective, I'm doing everything I can to fool this bread and not have these pieces spread around. So that's the delivery piece. Dismissal is, because of your choices, you low functioning, you ain't nothing. That's dismissing. But delivery is, listen, your decisions created this. All right, so now what we gonna do with that? And how can I be a part of helping do that with that? How can I be a part? I wanna be an extension of that. How can I help that mold into these beautiful things? So your babies could look back and be like, Daddy helped us do all this, and this is where I went different than him, only because it made me better in this way. And that's okay, right? The other thing is, man, depression and throwing around depression, throwing around these different mental health diagnoses. You can have symptoms of anything and not be it. And I think in our society, people get caught up in, I'm depressed, or I'm having anxiety, or I'm ADD, or I feel these ways. We have down days that represent a lot of symptoms of depression. Doesn't mean that we are. However, if we are, then we need to be seeking help. Because again, we are creating us everywhere we go, in our relationships, with our kids, with our family. And if we even just want to say we care about our loved ones, getting help is something that helps them. And for parents out there, and I'm not a parent, but I'm with parents for the 17 years I've been doing it. I'm the oldest of 7. I didn't birth, but I parented, all of my siblings. I know it's a big difference, mamas. I'm not taking that from y'all.
A big one.
Big difference. Yeah. I'm putting that out there. I get it. But still, as a parent or folks who have little ones looking up to you, the best thing you can do for them is to get help and show them what help looks like and show them what asking for help looks like. And Black men, I'm gonna say I, because I can speak for me, and I think I'm speaking for the collective, but we love y'all. We here, we got y'all back. We don't need you to do nothing but show up and let us know what it is that you do know, and please be okay with the things you don't know. And allow, if it ain't us, an ally. I don't care if the person don't look like us, to help you not get to where I want you to be, not get to where outside wants you to be, your parents, society, but to really help you figure out where and who you want to be. Because that person is who we love, and that person is who we need you to be. And learn to evolve with each other, not just in a relationship in the bed, but I want us to evolve with each other, Cam, sitting across 2 couches together.
Yeah.
Right? And I want you to create a safe space for me to be a woman who's made decisions that landed me in a place of not being a statistic and not taking that as a pun intended to you. You know what I mean? Or a pun intended to someone else who was sitting here. But applaud me for being a good decision maker and coming from a place where I could have took a whole different route. And me be able to sit here with you creating 8 beautiful babies and your homes and families and operating in a space from the best you can, and me complimenting that. So I think that's where the delivery comes in at, is I see you where you at, you see me where I'm at. It is totally different places, but doesn't mean that I can't take and learn from whatever you got going on, and vice versa. And we make sure we expand together as folks.
Okay.
It's getting teary-eyed, y'all. I didn't want to say it.
No, by no stretch of the imagination. Not to say that, I don't cry. I think I found myself, even to that point, crying and admitting to crying more about my children, right? I was, my father to me is my hero. To this day, right? And when I look at my children, I see that look in my sons to this day. And it's certain parenting tools that my father didn't do with me, but the point was pushed across the finish line.
Right.
That I want to give my children. That's not to say that my dad wasn't an amazing dad, which he is. There are certain things that, as a son, I wish he would have did certain things different, but our parents aren't perfect.
Yeah, but that's all of us as we get older.
For sure.
We aim to do different and better always.
So the thing that my children have taught me is unlocking emotions. And also, it's just not my children, it's my partner now. And she does an amazing job with identifying that. It's like, tell your daughter, I'm making you better for your daughter. You doing what? Trust me, babe. It ain't no, calm down. We not yelling. I'm not yelling, babe, but I just want you to feel me. Feel me. Yes. Kuda needs you. Kiri needs you. Tweet needs you. Like, these things is where it's a place of refuge, not a place of war.
Right.
So as I'm living, I'm not afraid to say, bro, I cried. Man, my sons make me proud. And even though my dad never verbalized that, I knew what he meant.
Right.
So now what's different is the patience that my children teach me without telling me, Pop, Dad, this is how I learn. Stop yelling at me or stop being soft on me. Tell me what I actually need to do, right? It's those things where it's like, man, we just have a beautiful moment. And I know my son, you know what I'm saying, love boba tea. It's like, yo, boom, let's go get some boba. Boba is right next to Papa
Right,
John's.
right,
We go
right,
get a
right,
stuffed
right.
crust. Like, boom, that's our thing. But each one of my children is different, and it's a different emotion that comes out from me,
Absolutely.
and it encapsulates or embodies and allows me not to compartmentalize out of like, yo, you're compartmentalizing. It just allows me to
know each child.
oh my God.
And serve them at their needs.
And
Yeah,
that
it's
right
beautiful.
there is like, I'm the intrusive dad, where I love you, boy. Come here, give me a hug. Like, go brush it. But you musty, boy. Going upstairs. Like, those, that's how,
Yeah.
I mean, even with my friends, even with my team, right? I can sometimes be too blunt,
Yeah.
and I'm learning, right? But enough about me. Obviously, when we were talking about your intro, back in the day, it was like a badge of pride to say NAACP. You know what I'm saying? Black, when Martin Luther King and these activists were people who were so stoic, they believed in something, they stood for something, they spoke for the community. How can young individuals get a part of certain programs or certain things that push the culture forward in a healthy way?
I love that. Well, for one, they can become members, obviously, right? And you just go to NAACP.org and become a member, or go to our Instagram, NAACP 1069. Also, you have local branches you can be involved in. But at a higher level, what we need also, is to have a lot of the celebrities who tend to enjoy the NAACP Image Awards every year. They like to attend it. They like to be awarded by it. I think they need to contribute more to it. And when I say contribute, I'm not only talking about financially, because we have that. We can always use more. But contribute in the sense of their presence. Even if they don't become a member, come through, put a program in their name, come through, put a camp, whether it's a baseball camp, a basketball camp, a football camp, in the city of, I'm in LA, in the city of LA, and put your name on it. That brings kids. Your name also will bring funding. And so even if you don't do nothing but give your name, which is free, give your name, attach it to it, partnership with our NAACP, or get the funding behind it, run that camp, run that scholarship, run the golf tournament, whatever that is. We create the whole thing. But I really believe that people who have not even so much money, but the name and the face and the status recognition, the way they can help is attaching themselves to our NAACP. And we have a lot of celebrities that are already attached to it. We got Denzel Washington, we got Viola Davis, we have big, even DaBaby did a lot of work with us 4 years ago with the Biden administration as far as campaigning. He was really amazing with that. But I'm saying that to say, other celebrities, reach out. I'm _Dr. Bryant. You can Google me, reach out to us, or any other NAACP. We need to bring more of the community aspect back into the community so that we get the young kiddos and the adolescents and the teenagers learning how to be okay in their Blackness, and also learning career, socioeconomics literacy, learning what mental health really is. You have so many kids and adolescents, Cam, who are in the inner city, in the hood, who don't even know that they have mental health illness.
Yeah.
Then they become victims of crime when they're not victims of crime, they're victims of mental health. And so I wrote a whole resolution for NAACP nationally that's about mental health diversion in the courtroom. So you have someone come in and they committed a crime, and there's a mental illness illness attached to it, that they haven't been diagnosed, that state has to pay for a psychiatrist, psychologist to come in and assess them. And if they need to diagnose them, they divert their prison time to mental health diversion, to mental health treatment and help and assistance so that we can help this kid recreate and reprogram who they are, their choices, their decisions, and we can stop the criminal recidivism rate, meaning going back to jail over and over again, and break that cycle, which is modern day slavery. And so we can take them back and say, look, we're gonna get you mental health resources and put you in a place where you can make different decisions, because most of the time our babies are not criminals. They literally have mental health illness, or they're suffering from abandonment or attachment disorder or anxiety disorder or ADHD, or they're not ADHD, they just ain't got shit to do. You know what I mean? And they have a lot of energy and there's a place they need to be able to put it. So those things for me are really important on just getting our young boys and girls and adult boys and girls to identify with what they got going on, so they can start to get the resource to help themselves get out of that. And so, yeah.
Listen, my last thing here is you published a book titled Mental Detox, right? And I must say the whole title, The Power and Guidance to Implement Peace, Joy, Balance, and Financial Abundance in Your Life. What was that process of doing that? Are we looking out for another publishing from the Dr. Cheyenne, Nicole, Bryant? Like what's next?
Yeah, so my next book, The ABCs to Wellness, is a book about the tools from A through Z on what wellness is, what mental health is, how do you obtain it, and then how do you maintain it when you're there. And it takes you from A to Z to do that. Looking for it to be available September 2024, coming up really soon. My team, my literary team, is working on it now. Great team, and I gotta say this. Shout out to my boy 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, for literally coming in and believing in me and putting a whole literary team around me.
Yeah.
I mean, literally 50 came in and was like, "Yo, what? Like, hold on, huh? Like, dude, like, you're amazing. Hold up." Team. And I mean, and he did it like this. And so just want to say thank you to 50 for doing that. Really, really amazing. But writing my first book, it was about just, my book is old. Mental Detox is old. It was in 2014. And for some reason, if y'all want to find out, go purchase it, or, but it is still selling like crazy now. It ended up being the bestseller. And it's a quick read, only 100 pages. And it's just really about detoxing your mind of the negative thoughts, of the distorted thinking, reprogramming, creating a new narrative that fits who you are, not the narrative you learned in a house growing up, and really getting rid of the survival narrative you learned and learning how to thrive. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? What are you doing?
ADD taking over right now.
That's
because
okay.
the reality is, like, I want to close, I have to close. But the reality is, you mentioned Curtis Jackson. And I'm like, is he a high value man or a high functioning man? Like, I just want to know.
That's the question?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about where 50 is and what he's doing.
It's just high functioning, yes. Or
But
is
I'm
he
not
part of the 40% or the 60%?
50 is where he is. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna mention that with him as far as how he is and what he is.
So not the
What?
cat got your tongue. We've been
No,
talking
not
about
cat.
cats and
No,
curiosity and all
Cat
that. But
Cat
nah,
don't got my tongue. It's this segment in our conversation is not about 50.
it was never about
So-
anybody else.
Yes,
but
it was. It was about everything we talked about.
brought
So as
Oprah
far
in here and,
as far
and
as
Stedman
right.
caught a
So
stray.
as far as 50 is a great man for the work that we've done together. He's a wonderful person for believing in me and for putting a team around me. And for that,
Yeah.
I respect that. That action right there and the work I've done with 50 and knowing him in the department, in the spaces we know each other, he's been wonderful. And that's that. That is my answer, Cam. That is the answer to that.
You didn't answer my question.
I answered it.
Okay, I'm going to.
50 is an amazing businessman.
High-functioning man.
He's extremely high functioning,
And
especially when
how-
it comes to business. Especially when it comes to
No,
business.
don't give
Especially when it comes to that. He's definitely that.
high value too, right?
Of course he has high value.
High
He's
function.
50.
Yeah, of course.
Of course he
Kurt
has
does.
value.
He's
Yeah. He's that
I
dude.
respect.
Yeah.
I really can admire
He's that dude.
Curtis
He's high
Jackson.
value. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I respect his business acumen.
Me too.
I love the trolling. Yeah. But he got kids though.
You gotta ask 50 that. You gotta ask 50 that.
That's for the next. I seen you did two different
let me say
segments
this.
with
If you
Nick,
get-
so you're
if
gonna
you-
have to double back.
Yeah, if you get, let me say this, Cam.
Yes,
Let me
ma'am.
say this, big dog.
Okay.
Let me say this, boss man, big dog.
Yeah,
If you get
I like
50
that.
on here with me, then I'll talk about and analyze 50 and his kids and what he got going on. If you can get 50 sitting next to me, well,
won't.
then there you go.
Because
There you
I really, we can help each other. We already identified that. We
There
can
you go.
analyze each other to the roosters come home or speak out or the
There you
cows
go.
come home.
There you
However,
go.
those soliloquies or
you
those
go.
different things, you sharp. I like that.
Oh, thank you, Cam.
I done let you off the hook on numerous times.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Just to be obedient. I see, you got your team with you. And I ain't want nobody to feel like, yo, why he came and da-da-da. No, doctor, thank you for your time. But
This is what happens when your cigar goes out?
I'm trying to tell you, I
what I mean
get
when you need a
agitated,
cigar.
long-winded. It took you 16 paragraphs to tell me where you originally was from.
telling you,
I really
yeah.
enjoyed this though.
I did
really
too.
did. And as we end things here at Funky Friday, it's simple. All right, we understand that you can do a quick analysis of somebody,
Right.
but let's see if you can pay attention and process what I'm telling you that needs to do so we can close.
Let's go. Let's go.
So we're gonna start with this camera right there, and then we're gonna go to this camera right here, and then we're gonna finish with that camera right there.
Can I put some gloss on?
Oh, go on.
You can keep the cameras rolling. Hold on.
Yeah,
hold
please
on, hold
do.
on.
Please
Get
do.
this gloss going.
Because I mean, I left so much out there that needed to be said, but I'm just gonna bite my tongue. And it was no pick stone today, though. Was they?
Am I good? Am I good?
Respectfully, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's go.
So, 26, you out there, my brother, more power to you. I can't even say 50, no pun intended, but 50 plus, you can't, not that. But as we end things here, Funky Friday, right? We're gonna start right here, then we're gonna go right there, then we're gonna finish right there. And when I say all together, we're gonna say one love. Don't forget the thumb. There we go. All right, when I say all together, what are we gonna say? One love.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right,
I'm ready.
here we go. One finger. We're gonna start with that camera right there. Then we're gonna end with that camera. There we go.
Boy, you don't run this thing. Let's go.
Here we go. One finger, one pinky, one thumb, all together.
One love.
Ooh!
You like that, you like that, you like that, you like that.
Dr. Cheyenne Nicole Bryan, y'all. Thank you.
That was good, Cammie. Thank you.
Appreciate you,
You were so good.